Africa TV Freak Up Studio live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6 2021 GSL Season 1.
We are officially in the first season of the GSL Code S. We wrapped up GSL Code A. Here we are now in the round of 16. It's good to be back.
Yeah, and
even though you guys are here with us just a week ago. Good to be in the Code S part.
Yes, that's right. So we're just gonna play some really loud music here for a moment.
Oh, happy birthday, Artosis!
Yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow.
Look at that, Artosis. You don't watch your loud music, Artosis?
I was.
Is that because you're so old? Because it's your birthday?
Yes, I am a boomer.
How old are you now?
Well, it's my birthday tomorrow. Thank you so much.
How old are you tomorrow?
38.
38.
38.
Boomerlicious.
Boomerlicious.
You got a year on me.
I do. You're a youngin'.
And I'll never catch up.
Well, if I die before you, you sure
You'll
will.
still technically be older.
But
you'll just be a dead person.
Honestly, the odds of that.
And if you die before me and I outlive past that, I beat you even more, right? Congratulations on being 38, Artosis.
Yeah, thank you.
You got any plans for your birthday?
Oh, I mean, it's every
go
day
to
of
a
my
rave?
life is exactly the same as the day before Tasteless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get woken up probably right before 6 with my kids wanting to get out of bed.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell them to go back to bed, but then I'm not going to be able to fall back asleep. So that's going to be great.
That sounds exciting.
I'm going to lay on the couch tired as hell.
Yeah.
And for about an hour telling them to go back to bed. And then I'll stream and lose to a bunch of bad Protoss players while cussing.
Okay. That sounds really
and then
like
I'll play with the kids
day.
when they get home from school, and then eat dinner and go to bed.
Well, do say hi to Artosis on his birthday stream, guys, tomorrow. And just to our tournament here, again, exciting to see it's 5-6-6 race distribution ratio.
Yeah.
Can't get more even than that.
Always amazing.
Unless it's the round of 15.
Here's our groups, guys. Today doing Group A. Does one of these stand out as the group of death for you? For me, I got to look at C. I think C is it's not as deathy as normal, but
well, I don't think we really have a group of death. Let's just put it like that. That might be the toughest group, but people like to throw these terms around like which one is actually the unbelievably hardest one. It's
What's
like, well, it's not. Is there a Bonjour? Is there any Bonjour out there?
Will there ever be another third Bonjour? Yeah. Anyways, Group A. That's what we're doing here today, Tasteless.
That's right.
And, of course, TY, the dominator of GSL as of late, has made this wonderful group.
Yeah.
It looks like a group that is almost impossible for him not to get out of.
I think he's going to get out easily. I think DRG probably gets out as well. Quick video, guys, then we'll start our games.
선수 교환권을 가진 전태양 선수와 좀 이야기 나눠보도록 하겠습니다.
우승하기 위해서 일단 8강을 가는 게 중요하기 때문에 승부조를 조금 생각하고 있긴 한데 일단 한 5명 정도가 저한테 얘기를 이미 했기 때문에
A조가 지금 굉장히 매력적인 조로 지금 자리매김하는 것 같은데요. 내가 A조에 가길 바라는 선수 있습니까? 한 번의 기회를 드리겠습니다. 이재선, 자 마이크.
태양 형이 갈 땐 가더라도 우승컵 하나 필요하다 그랬는데 그 재물이 딱 제가 알맞는 것 같아가지고 저를 딱 뽑고
내가 스스로 재물이 되겠다.
네네.
우와.
일단 방금 이재선 선수의 말은 너무 가식적이었고 모두가 공감하듯 태양 형이 1등이라 생각하고 있고요. 이제 손잡고 두 명의 테란이 올라가는 그 그림을 같이 그려보고 싶습니다.
처음부터 A조 가고 싶었고요. 그래서 뭐 뽑아준다면 다 합의한 대로 흘러가게 될 것 같아요.
네.
작년에 A조의 은총을 받아가지고 실력에 맞지 않는 거품 같은 성적을 낸 것 같아가지고 이번에도 좀 그 거품 목욕을 좀 해보고 싶어요.
마음의 결정하셨습니까?
네.
첫 번째 A조의 선수를 지목해 주시기 바라겠습니다. 누구예요? 진짜. 자, 과연 여기서 선택 허리케인 가네요.
뭔가 반할 생각이 없기 때문에
Round of 16. TY. Bunny. Hurricane. DRG. GSL Season 1. Code S.
All right, there you have it. The group selection. TY getting the group that he wants, and it looks like he's going to be good going forward here, man. Like him against Bunny, I just can't see Bunny beating. I couldn't see Bunny beating stats either, but I think TBT it's a little bit harder to cheese your way through.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, TY is so good at the positional play. I think Bunny's shown that he's got some very strong early game. But yeah, I mean, it's one of these matchups where it's hard to envision a Bunny victory here, especially in a best of 3. I mean, maybe he pulls a fast one somehow. I don't know, but I think this might be the most straightforward of all of our matches here. Maybe even in Code S for round of 16.
Yeah, TY. There's a reason he picked Bunny, right? Like, Bunny is one of these borderline guys where it's like if he's not in the round of 16, you don't go, where is he? And TY is the best TDTer ever by far. Like,
Yeah.
Maru beat him in the final.
I know, right?
I hear you, guy in the chat. That's really cool. It's really cool that
Sensed
you
it.
remember that did occur.
Artosis was like Professor X feeling something inside the universe. 1,000 guys in the chat screamed out at once.
Yeah, in unison.
Yeah.
Like, we saw a result that makes us think different. Listen, TY
They all
the best
said it
TDT
once,
ever.
why don't you make ghosts, Artosis? And he went, ah! All right, we're going to go to Death Aura for map 1. TY versus Bunny to start our night off here. It's good to have Code S back. I hope you guys enjoyed the small Code A section of our tournament. I like that we spiced it up here. But now we're back to the classic GSL Code S group format here with Code A. And our map is loaded up. So let's get this TVT going. Bunny versus TY.
2021 GSL Season 1.
So we're skipping player intros here. We're going to have the SCV come out immediately. And he's kind of making this C-line move.
The C line? Not a B line, but a C line?
This is like a C-shaped one. Why do they call it a B line? Is that just, is it the direction a B goes directly back to the hive? Where does that actually come from?
Yeah,
Because I was thinking a
that's
C-shaped.
correct.
Okay.
Like a bee would fly direct. It's like, also there's another saying like, as the crow flies,
Yeah.
right? Which is like a direct line to something.
Okay.
It's like, how far is this from that? It's like, well, as the crow flies, it's 1 mile, but to get there on foot, it might be 2 miles.
I say
right?
thank you, farmer.
Everyone says as the crow flies, man.
Nobody
It's like,
says as the crow flies.
I just Snapchatted my homie as the crow flies earlier, actually, Tasteless. It was totally lit.
As the crow flies. I feel like I know the phrase. I've never heard anybody say it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. You never.
Because I don't know it, I have to mock it, Artosis. That's the kind of person I am.
Oh,
I go, oh, it's different from me. Let's make fun of it.
That's the right way to
That's
act.
the only way to live.
Yeah.
So we have a barracks planted out in the middle of the map, and there's a factory. I think it's being made in the main. I was looking on the mini map. Yeah, I'm sorry. It is being made in the main here.
But the place is SCV is hidden. Maybe we'll see a starport down there.
Yeah, it seems like he wants to hide something, and the only logical building that could come next would be a starport.
Now, Concussive Shell Marauder. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? This is not a fast command center from Bunny, so maybe going to be a build that's a little bit better against what TY is doing, I'm guessing. Right, because he's going to be able to make a few more units. Now, he does not scout the barracks as of yet. If that Concussive Shell finishes, there's a good chance that he just snipes their Reaper immediately.
Yeah, this is pretty big. Think about the Concussive Shell build, and we've seen this done to Protosses as well. The builds are slightly different, but basically, if you catch them off guard, and keep in mind, things in StarCraft 2 happen faster than any other RTS game. If you manage to get the first hit off, they're in quicksand as far as the fight goes. They'll be picked off inevitably. But the 2 units do get away. The SCV is, of course, killed over by the command center. The bunker's going to be at about 40% completion. And we're going to see a fight over here now.
Yeah, targets on the SCV that's making the bunker, which is probably a really good idea right there. Now, does target down one of the Reapers immediately. Some good micro here from Bunny, I think. But TY's build is just, I mean, his units are so much better right now.
Yeah, and he's going to force a cancel on the command center. This is pretty big. Yeah, the SCVs really can't fight when the third Marauder gets down there. That's where the exchanges go much more favorably for the Marauders. So he's forced to cancel. He slowed him down. Behind this, we have TY already making another command center. And there is no other command center being made here. I gotta fix our monitor here. This thing is pointed so far down. Okay, this is much better. There's no command center being made here. And the pressure's really on here because, first of all, we have Bunny. He needs to fight back, but second of all, he also has to grow behind this if he does manage to fight it off. And now the two depots are going to take damage. Yeah. This is going to be a huge supply block over here for Bunny. I mean, TY dominating with his build and with his execution, to be frank.
Yeah, I think the roughest part here is Bunny rather, came down the ramp and tried to fight and tried to finish the command center, lost the fight, went back up, and then canceled, right?
Yeah.
You want to know immediately if you're going to hold or if you're not, and when you make that mistake trying to hold, then that's where TY gets really far ahead. Whereas if you insta-cancel, for instance, right, and stay up your ramp and fight in that way, then suddenly TY's build is like, oh, did we actually get damage?
Yeah. So I would say already for TY, the strategy has succeeded, right? And to be honest, this is going to be even worse for Bunny here because the game from here on out is straightforward for TY. I mean, he just continues to produce, waits for either the big counterattack or the delayed expansion and you know, plays from there. But both are easier games for any player. And in this case, we have TY, who is, you know, vastly more accomplished than Bunny. But let's see how the attack goes. We got two medevacs coming out on the map. We've got Hellions inbound as well.
Yeah, I think TY did see that. He had a patrolling Hellion. It'd be very peculiar if he did not. But I think TY is just going to have enough, right? He's got 3 Marauders still at decent health. He's already got 2 siege tanks, a Viking. Oh my gosh, a Cyclone as well.
Yeah, let's see where the medevacs can land here. This Viking doesn't end up doing any damage until the drop is basically already started, so these Marines can even shoot down the Viking if they get close enough to it. And this is some real damage being dealt over here, and it's in a pretty difficult spot for TY to just engage with. TY is taking damage alongside this.
So he's going to clean up the natural pretty quickly, moving his tanks forward a little bit. Bunny trying to multitask here.
Yeah, it looks like Bunny's managed to shimmy his infantry over behind the 2 gases here. This is going to force a fight.
Yeah, and with the siege tanks coming up, he's actually going to get one targeted down right away. In fact, the other one, no, not quite. Auto turret comes down, Bunny just GG's. Like, not a bad idea for a counterattack, but again, I think that the big mistake here for Bunny was thinking he could fight it when he could not. When you make a mistake like that, if you commit to a defense around something like a command center on low ground, that's why you see, like, sometimes when new builds pop up, you'll see a Terran, like, super die. Like, remember when the Max Packs build came and people were trying to save the command? They would just, that's it. The game ends because they're keeping that up too long. They're fighting down there. They're losing extra. You got to know when you see it and be like, oh, I can't hold this right now. Cancel that CC. Restart if that's what you're going to do on the high ground, right? And not be spending all your SCVs trying to hold.
It's pretty cool to see that, you know, there have been periods of StarCraft 2 where the early game has been fairly stale. To see new builds come out like that where you can absolutely show an opponent does have a glass jaw in their build, you know? We're going to go on to Romanticide here for map number 2. TY versus Bunny continues on. TY with a 1-0 lead.
2021 GSL Season 1. We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes.
Oh, dude.
Oh, my.
Okay.
What if it's exactly the same thing?
But sometimes there's some genius to doing the exact same build again in a best of 3.
Yeah.
Especially one that is...
Oh, man.
Not all builds are made equally, guys, and some builds are designed to be used and then pretty much disposed of, not even for your opponent, but for the tournament and maybe even for an entire season, you know, as if you're a competitive player who's studied and watched. But obviously, in this case, we have an extremely different scenario because both players are making barracks on opposite sides of the map, and in fact, Bunny's making 2, and so this is going to be one of these games where we have 2 builds that are engineered to punish, typical play, and we're going to see how they interact. I actually don't quite know what happens with this. I feel like the red player wins.
Yes,
but
I assume that Bunny is going to get about as free a win as you could ever get, right?
It would
because if
seem
they're
like
both
it.
making Reapers, and TY's going up to a factory's main, like, if he had his racks in his main, he could hold this.
Yeah.
But his Reapers are going to be way out of position. He's going to have half as many. So, yeah, I think Bunny is going to, like, insta-win this, basically. We'll see TY struggle a little bit. He'll pull his SCVs. They'll get kited. That'll be it.
I actually don't remember. It was Tech Lab immediately after Barracks in game 1 for TY, right?
That's right. That's
okay,
right.
yeah. So TY is actually not doing the same build.
No. It
was a Hellion with the build. I was like, what was the other unit that was there? Okay, yeah. Now, yeah, this looks to be among one of the more straightforward ideas in StarCraft that you could possibly have. What TY is doing is a pretty modest pressure build that he can punish. Now, keep in mind, he's going to see the Reaper. Bunny might actually think that TY also made 2 barracks. So this may change his behavior. I'm not sure. I just want to put that idea out there.
Yeah, I guess that is possible. I think if you go 2 racks, you do wait for 2 to go generally. And when he sees that, yeah, he starts to go up. So you want to deny the factory from building first because, oh my God, he actually gets it finished on that first SCV. So I think he's having a hard time splitting his attention right now. I think that does give a chance, right, to TY because he's going to be able to do things like pop out a Hellion. But still, it seems like Bunny is just, this is like way too much.
Yeah.
Maybe even, like, I'm trying to figure out how you can win this. Okay, he's chasing with almost all his SCVs. He has the Hellion out. He's making another Hellion.
Okay, it's coming down. Oh my God, the damage on the Hellion's insane. Can he actually get this repaired? I'm worried a Reaper dive, and this is just not a lot you can do. Okay, he gets the kill. The Reapers haven't healed. This first Hellion might get a... Oh, hold on. He's going to pull it away. Second shot doesn't get the kill.
Yeah, this is insane damage very, very quickly. TY has made an interesting choice of making a bunker over at Bunny's base. Bunny actually has no SCVs now, right? He's got 1.
Well, hold on. There's
This is turning really interesting because I think in this case you're supposed to lift off.
Yeah.
And
it's
like
3 to
the other
6.
base, maybe.
How many minerals in the bank here? It's 100 for TY.
90 for Bunny.
2 SCVs for TY, 1 SCV for Bunny. But I guess you can land mules. These are orbitals.
Yeah, that's
just to keep in mind.
True, that's true.
Normally in StarCraft, you'd look at the supply in a base trade and count how many more workers can be made. But okay, so where are the 2 barracks then that are floating for Bunny? They're still down in the bottom left. In fact, they're not floating. There's a chance that you could land the CC somewhere, land a mule, suck up some more resources, make a few more Reapers, depending on how fast you are. There are also 2 Marines here, which can attack the command center, which means it can't go unimpeded.
Yeah, but there's 7 Reapers in a Hellion, so I think TY just dies here.
Yeah, I think Bunny wins. GG, great game.
Yeah, that was definitely a build order win for Bunny. But I don't think that there was like much that could have been done there.
No,
after the builds were chosen. You know?
Some builds like this do just counter each other, and we've never casted a game like that. You know, we've never had those 2 builds interact. I mean, there's so many different builds in StarCraft, and Artosis and I have been doing this game for over a decade, and I haven't casted that one game yet. But
very true.
It was interesting to see how both sides behaved. I thought TY was still being pretty smart and handling it pretty well, despite pretty much being boned. But you know, the goal for Bunny in that once he realizes what position he's in is to just keep enough Reapers alive that he then has the killing blow in the end. So how long has this been going on? We've been live for 21 minutes, Artosis. Yeah. Intro to the show, videos, 2 Terran games.
A happy birthday song.
A happy birthday song.
We're busy beavers.
We're about to wrap this TVT up. Hopefully this game's a longer one.
2021 GSL Season 1. We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes. Freaka Freaks, TY. Team NV, Bunny.
All right, no proxy barracks this game. We're done with those shenanigans.
What are they doing? They're playing it wrong.
Yeah.
This is off meta here.
Yeah.
All the buildings inside their base? What is going on?
All right. Well, I think it's the most likely that we'll get a normal TVT now.
I've got my fingers crossed. Don't worry. So, Ortosis, you know, I sleep in a little bit later than you, but the mornings that you do stream, I do sometimes pop in. I'm having my coffee, but I did pop into Maynard's stream.
Yeah.
And I caught him talking about how he was talking about us in his stream.
Oh, yeah?
He was, yeah. And I was lurking there for a little bit. I just had it on. I'm, you know, getting ready and got my morning going. He was talking about how we don't tie our own ties.
Oh,
This is actually true.
That's a lie.
He's the one who can't tie his own tie.
I tie his tie at every event.
We have still not figured out how to tie ties here. We've looped them in the back of the makeup room.
Look, I've given myself.
We have little nooses that we've put over our heads before we come in here.
Take them off very carefully.
Somewhere in our careers, we decided we probably can still get away doing this without actually being able to tie a tie. And to this day,
since Maynard started getting hired at StarCraft events, it's been a lot easier
to
not know how to tie a tie. But I remember once there was an event like an MLG in New York, and I literally went down to the front desk. I'm like, "Can you tie my tie?" And the
desk?
Yeah, the front desk of a hotel, and they were like, "No." I'm like, "Can you find someone that works here that can tie my tie?"
This is a game we've been playing for a long time, is refusing to learn how to tie ties and just...
Eventually they got like a bellboy or something that came up and tied my tie for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Thanks a lot."
Thank
All right,
you so
off to
much.
MLG.
Yeah.
But yeah, since Maynard came around, yeah, thanks Maynard.
Thank you, Maynard.
Thanks for tying my tie so many times.
Because if they don't, the show's going to start. We'll just lay down on the floor until somebody comes and puts a tie around our neck.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
He
doesn't
feels the worst.
He doesn't have to do it, by the way. He doesn't have to, but we've
But
sort
we
of
look really sad.
Yeah.
When
I'm like,
doesn't.
well, then I just want we were tying this cast. People are like, oh God, all right, somebody.
But the thing I feel really terrible about is if Maynard ties it, and I think he didn't do a good enough job, and I have to ask him to retie it. That's happened a couple times, and I feel terrible.
Like it's not even the bottom part sticking out.
I'm like, "Maynard, buddy, I love you, but
I love you, but this is gonna look silly on me. I'm gonna look like a gorilla wearing a tie if it's this high up.
Yeah.
Anyways, cheers to Maynard if you're watching.
It's GSL, man. He's watching.
Yeah, he's here. He's got sound turned all the way up.
For sure.
And for everybody watching, it's good to be back doing Code S again.
Oh, I'm so
excited
happy
for the year.
Yeah, and you know, it's a different format. It's the first time we're starting Code S in the round of 16. So that's definitely very, very different. GSL originally was a 64-man tournament for 3 seasons. Then it went to 32 in Code S when Code S was introduced. And then it went to 24, and now it's at 16. And maybe next year we'll be down to 8.
Yeah, dude, we're still waiting until it's just 4. GSL Code S starts in round of 4.
GSL Code S is going to be a show match between TY and Maru eventually.
Okay, Hellion drop over here. Actually, not bad so far. I would say Bunny's doing a decent job running away here. If he can just get... Actually, this did not go well for TY, really.
It almost went amazingly, though.
Yeah.
If he had one more shot there, one more shot, Tasteless.
And TY's not moved this...
oh, he only killed one?
I actually thought he killed more than that, to be honest. I thought it was 3 or 4 maybe, but 1 is... It's actually really bad. If this was anybody but TY, I would say that this is going to be a very difficult game to win from here. But
imagine
let's
if
see.
Bunny just like eliminates him, and like Bunny just knocks
Yeah.
out all the people that should win GSL, and then like
TY's trying to leave the studio, and we look at him and go sit down and cast the rest of this day.
Yeah. Caster Park gave all TY's replays to his opponents. It's like, I don't like this curious guy. All right, little drop coming in here from Bunny. He did poke the front as well, so no units up in the main base to stop this. Forces a cancel on that depot. Oh, double Viking. Tries to get out of there, but instead just picks up and boosts over, dropping out. See how much damage he can get done. Definitely a lot more than those Hellions got done, Taste, so I can tell you that much. 6 SCVs.
Yeah. Again, things are all in place for Bunny to have a smooth game here. I'm actually excited about this because I want to see how TY plays in a position like this. Most of TY's games, honestly, he basically gets a few steps ahead right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's a short boxing match from there.
Yeah. Very oftentimes.
So TY is going to come in here with a push, and this has to work doubly because of how bad his attack did. Normally, a push like this is intended to be a closer after you killed more SCVs. The reverse has happened this time around.
He's down 10 SCVs, Tasis. That is really a significant amount. All right, so TY pushing up like 3 tanks and 4 Vikings is no laughing matter.
Yeah, he might try to push and aim for infrastructure here.
This is...
If he can actually force a lift on the factory, he can probably get a tank, mounting a tank lead here. This is kind of an unusual way to win a mid-game, but this is an absolutely acceptable way to close it.
Oh my god, look at the amount of damage on that factory,
Yeah,
actually.
if he's going to get that before it lands, because it can't land in between this. That's pretty huge. He needs to get an add-on on that.
Yeah, a lot of damage on it. And now he has a Liberator here as well, so he can actually like truly push, because that air advantage is not going to go away too quickly. I guess we do actually have 2 starports for Bunny, so popping out 3 Vikings. Does have that double Raven going across the map. You know what? Bunny really has potential to win this game still, but TY's push is fearsome. Look at this. Oh my god, auto turrets are going to just massacre.
Yeah, and they're going to need to for Bunny's sake here. This push is really putting a lot of pressure on here. It looks like the air fight should be won here by Bunny. And you know, in tank versus tank on 2 bases, a lot of times that's how you basically lose it is, you know.
TY is dead, Tasteless.
TY is going to be eliminated. I'm almost casting this as if I'm just not sure who's going to take it. And that's my bias right there. But
yeah,
honestly,
it's done.
Bunny, okay.
So Bunny continues his string of upsets.
Yeah.
He needs several more upsets, though, and before I will accept him with the players he's beating.
I'll tell you what, I got to be critical of TY. Yeah, watch this. Don't proxy twice in a best of 3.
If he had 2-0'd, you'd be talking how brilliant he is. You'd be
That's
massaging his feet.
I'd be massaging his hands and his feet.
Yeah.
Artosis, that's called being a great esports caster. But you know what? Let's take this to the spin room right now.
Yeah.
That game 1 win, that was great. The game 2, I don't know. I don't think it's safer to proxy twice in a best of 3 against a player you're better than. There, I said it. Go ahead, deal with it. We're going to have a short break. We come back our next match.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와, 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 당토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥, 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
성능을 언제 어디서나 가볍게 즐기다. 지포스 GTX 1650 그래픽 최신 인텔 10세대 프로세서 탑재. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어.
이상한데? 그렇게 작아. 너무 안 보이는데? 보이지가 않잖아. 이거 쓸 수가
아니
없는데?
저거 키워보라고.
성능을 17대화면으로 언제 어디서나 더 크게 즐기다. WQXGA 초고화질의 17대화면 16:10 최적의 화면비. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
Round of 16. TY, Bunny, Hurricane, DRG, GSL Season 1, Code S. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6, 2021, GSL Season 1.
Crazy start to the night. TY has just lost his match to Bunny. He waits in the loser's match. Hurricane versus DRG is next. Now, I think TY can advance, but, I mean, that is a plot twist right there.
Yeah. That screws everything up because whoever loses here has potential to knock him out. I actually think Bunny is the easiest match for him. But it's a best of 3. Bunny got a build order win game 2. And,
Yeah.
Actually just played very well game 1, and TY got way behind.
Now, what do you think now that Hurricane's wearing Parting's dad's glasses right now?
I feel like they're a little bit more Harry Potter-esque, right? Look how big and round they are.
That they're good.
It's like not only does he see better with his eyes, his hair gets slightly magnified for us as well.
It's good. You know what we should do one day is just show
Oh
up.
my God, DRG
They
stole
have the
his
same glasses. Okay. Battle of the glasses gamers.
Now, what would happen if they headbutted each other and those two glasses hit each other exactly evenly? Does all the glass break perfectly?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
These are the important questions to ask.
I always wonder when two players headbutt each other what happens there.
This hasn't happened since the 10 years ago of the two guys chewing gum at the same time.
Well, if they headbutt each other strongly enough, the Protoss players then favored to win the match.
We're going to go to Nautilus for map 1. And let's see what happens. Hurricane versus DRG. DRG, by the way, sometimes looking untouchable. I'm looking forward to seeing what Hurricane has in store for this. It is a best of 3, and the winner, wait for it, winner goes up against Bunny. Loser has to go up against TY. You definitely want to win here if you can.
GSL Season 1. Hurricane. Team NV, DRG.
Tasteless. These
Yes.
glasses are just so in fashion right now. These giant round glasses. If I get you a pair of those, will you wear them?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, I'm not going to actually get it.
You got no. Now you got to do it. Look at this guy. You thought I'd be like, oh, Artosis, that'd be so crazy. I couldn't do that. Yeah, you give me some lensless glasses. Let's do it. Let's go.
Which of us would look better in glasses?
Me.
Is that just because you're handsomer than me, or is there like
For many
another
reasons.
reason?
I think I could pull the glasses off more, Artosis. I think.
You think so?
Yeah. I think with my beard, I think I'd be hotter with glasses.
We should try this.
And what I'm going to do is, if we get glasses, I'm going to get one of those little chains around them so they can hang down like I'm a professor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and whenever I have something important to say, I go, well, the thing is, I start to put them on like that, you know. I have that kind of...
I think that's like an old person look, Taste, so it'd be perfect for
an
you.
attractive old person look at that.
I feel like... I don't know if I would
You
like
with glasses, I can't imagine.
Like, I already look so smart. So, like, if I had glasses, people would, like, tune in and be like, no, this guy's a snob.
You look frighteningly intelligent, let me tell you. You never been to, like... You never been to like a store with a friend that had to try on glasses? You never ended up in one of those situations where you ended up putting them on, too?
Oh, I never put them on myself, though, because I didn't need them.
Something only a frighteningly intelligent guy would do.
I know that I don't need glasses, so I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah, I'm not sure which ones you'd want to wear. I think not the circular ones like this. I don't think
those wouldn't
compliment
compliment
you.
Yeah. No, I think they'd have to be like the ones that are wide.
I think they'd have to have tape in the middle.
Tape in the middle?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think like just some clean like.
I think it'd be great if you had a pair of glasses that would match the retainer you wear when you go to sleep. I think we need to get something very Bubble Child-esque for you.
Yeah.
By the way, Robo Build coming out here for Hurricane.
Yeah, a little bit of a depth pressure here. Doesn't quite get that first tumor.
And this is going to be an immediate Warp Prism here. And one thing about DRG is he's among the most resilient Zergs. Like, things really do just bounce off of him. And occasionally he shuts down any kind of pressure build so bad it makes it look like you're not supposed to be doing that at all.
Yeah.
Even though it works against almost every other player out there.
Yeah, and I think his ZVP is pretty good right now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite as good as his ZVT, but definitely better than his ZVZ.
Yeah, that's important to note. It seems like his ZVZ is lacking a little bit. ZVP, not bad.
Yeah,
pretty strong, actually, but ZVT, like, he just doesn't die in.
Yeah, and we only have a handful of actual good Zerg pros right now in Korea, and
yeah, ZVZ.
Like, I think everyone is favored against him Zerg versus Zerg, which is a little bit of a problem.
This is a funny thing because sometimes when you have a certain race that's dominating, really the matchup that you play against that race becomes the most important matchup in the tournament. Like the KSL that we, found out that it was going to be PvP by far the most important to deal with, or there's, days where there's one Terran and nothing but Zerg. So really, if you're a good TVZ as a Terran player, that's all you need to do. TVT, TVP, not important. In this case, DRG, I think, has stronger chances in this season because there's not as many Zergs in general.
Yeah, well, there's, a lot of the favorites are Terran players too, right? He's got 2 Terrans in his group, so.
Yeah. I mean, but when I say that, guys, I know it's almost even, but I mean, compared to some other seasons where we've had pretty Zerg-heavy groups, where ZVZ, a lot of times, if you're a Zerg, is the most important matchup. I think this is a good season for DRG, based off of his skill sets that we've seen so far.
Let's see how he does against this incoming rush. A lot of gates are finishing up right now. Comes an observer as well, definitely. I mean, this has to turn into an attack, right? Or is...
I think so, yeah. The 2 Immortals are out. This is a timing push, one of the many timing push variations that Protoss has.
All right, here we go. 5 sentries, 2 Immortals. He's got that prism in the center as well. Does have an observer coming, so he'll be able to clear some of this creep. Roaches being made. Looks like a scary push for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. First force field goes down. He boxes out the Queens from going directly up towards the hatchery, but he hasn't committed with his force field so far. There's really not a lot here for DRG. The Immortals are in a pretty good position.
Yeah, DRG just does not have many units. Like, he has 19 Lings right now, and that's it. It seems like Hurricane's just going to smash through this.
This looks pretty fearsome. I don't think DRG was expecting this. I was talking earlier about how he tends to hold a lot of stuff off. I think this is almost over, man. I mean, by the way, super committal here from Hurricane. He's going to just basically move past the hatchery. There's not drones mining there. If he can win the fight over here at the natural, the game ends immediately.
There's like no units. I mean, he's just gonna plow through. Like his micro's okay here and everything, but he barely even needs it, honestly.
Yeah.
Force field's going down, a little bit of pullback for Spiles, but it's just so few units for DRG. He's starting to fight with drones, and that's when you know he is in trouble.
Ooh, dodges the bile, but I think it was already over. Hurricane takes game 1 in GSL Opposite Day Edition.
Well, Hurricane was looking pretty reasonable PvC against Ragnarok. Had a lot of different builds. DRG, I'm sure, studied that, and this wasn't a Stargate opener, so maybe that threw him off a little bit. And just the fact that it's Nautilus in general is, you know, this is the least practiced map by a trillion miles, considering the rest of the map pool has been out for like 4 years now.
So that does it. DRG dies in game 1. Again, it's a best of 3. And I think the most important takeaway, guys, is that the loser faces TY. The loser. Obviously, TY is a player I think it's still safe to say everybody's confident he gets out. It's even an easy decision. So again, you really want to win here. We're going to map 2. Let's go.
2021 GSL Season 1. Hurricane. Team NV, DRG.
So nice little block there, forcing that hatchery to go to the third. We did see Hurricane do some great harassment with the Adepts when the hatchery went to the third on Nautilus. So maybe we'll see that again from him. Hopefully DRG not caught completely off guard this time. Definitely a very one-sided game there.
Yeah, let's see what Hurricane does here. That's a very good feeling when a push like that just works.
He wasn't
heavily, had like ready
no
at all
units when it came.
Yeah,
so that does happen.
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways. I mean, I think Hurricane executed the attack perfectly, but I also think, yeah, I mean, DRG was not anticipating an attack like that at all, and we did have an hallucinated Phoenix there, right? But I mean, it's pretty obvious that's fake, and you know, it's not a, you know, like, oh, madness. I thought it was a Stargate build. I mean, this game's old enough that they usually have a very good idea of what's going on. But I feel like for DRG, you would expect an attack, something like that from Hurricane. Am I wrong to say that? I feel like
against Ragnarok, he opened Stargate every game of 5, right? If I'm remembering this correctly, every single game was a Stargate with a Void Ray, but then like he mixed it up a lot behind that.
Yeah.
So
it was a well prepped, like, multi fork in the road build where everything looks the same at the start, but then you have something new each time.
So I think DRG maybe had in his mind that this was going to be a Stargate build, right? And didn't quite get the correct scouts off, didn't have the right timings to start his units. Well, that part for sure is true, but I think it's probably based upon studying Hurricane's games, right? And I mean, that's something that can get you. You know, if he was completely caught off guard by one of the builds Hurricane did against Ragnarok, then I'd have to call him out on that and be like, wow, you didn't look at the games? Like, come on, you should have an idea what this is. But this is kind of the reverse of that.
So this time we do have the Stargate build. Let's see if we have any builds that resemble what we had in his plays earlier on. I don't think we've really gotten a good taste of what DRG's got in this matchup yet. I mean, the game was so short. Really short game so far today.
Yeah. Ongoing late game as of yet, but the night is young, Tasteless.
And full of
still
tears.
Time.
And full of macro games, man.
Maybe.
Okay, good scout. Blocks him off from getting drones. Gets 1 kill anyways. And he'll be able to shade out. Nicely done there by Hurricane. It's worth it to lose 1 adept to kill 2 drones. So the first Void Ray's coming out. And again, you know, the Void Ray's always been a funny unit in StarCraft since its inception. Like, there's been periods where it's insane and overpowered, and then there's periods where it is
literally the worst.
It's a lemon. Like, it is completely useless. Like, and so right now we're in a place where the Void Ray actually seems to have the most reach in parts of the games that it's ever had. It can be used in cheese builds. It can be used to just control a 3-base area and play conservatively. It can also be used in a kind of a leveragey style where you get a bunch of them and then sort of bully around positions on the map or incorporate it into a big late game army. So
yeah,
seeing a Void, what I'm trying to say is seeing a Void Ray now in StarCraft 2 doesn't mean the same thing as when you'd see it in the past, for whether you're a spectator or a player, right? There's a lot more questions to ask when the first Void Ray comes out. Like, is he going to get more? Is he going to, you know, actually put this into a timing? Is this just to clear Lings and keep him safe? And I think that's why this build is so strong, or whatever the build is, but opening up like this into a build, whatever it may be, is good.
Yeah, it's a very flexible opener overall, right? Stargate builds always have been kind of the most flexible thing you can do against Zerg. And, you know, I think in this current meta, it's just a solid opener overall. Deny some scouting, you're very safe. Now, looking at this for DRG, he did go for a pretty quick +1 melee, and he's getting that Baneling Nest. So there's a possibility we see like a dive onto the 3rd base, but with double Oracle, if he doesn't lose these, I don't think he's going to like lose a 3rd.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. So a tag there on the Queens. Not a bad tag, but not a particularly important one right now. It's not like it's the bulk of the Queens here. So Zealot charge is coming, so is the Templar Archives. Protoss is quietly building up. We can see from the production ticker, there's not going to be more Void Rays.
No.
But one dilemma for the Zerg right now is the Zerg doesn't know that. You know, it's actually no more Oracles, no more real Stargate anything. And so instead, it's going to be a build-up into you know, a Warp Prism push along with the rest of anything the Protoss has tech-wise. I don't believe there's no Immortals, right? Or did he make some and I didn't see?
No, I don't think he has an Immortal yet.
Yeah.
Looks like instead getting some of these sentries out, that charge, +1 and everything. Put a mid-pylon there. Looks like that's something he would base defense around. Maybe throw a shield battery down. Make sure he can hold on. But PRG has mostly been droning. Doesn't really have too much army. Going into that carapace now that +1 melee is done. Which I actually like. I mean, I like +1 carapace. There's nothing wrong with +1 carapace. You should get +1 carapace. But I feel like if you get +1 melee quickly, you're doing yourself a great disservice by not getting +2 melee as quickly as possible, because Baneling harassment becomes so ridiculously strong at +2.
Well, it entirely changes the landscape of the fight. You know, +2 Banelings.
Well, just one-shotting probes is like insanity, right?
Yeah.
Like, we see so many probes die when in games where you get that quick +2.
Even some of these fights on the ground in general, though, I mean, it's such a difference. So we have a big attack coming in over here now. And this is where the push is going to start. Let's keep an eye on the Warp Prism to see if we can keep that alive. A good surround here is going to allow these Lings to take out at least one of those sentries there. And this is just definitely not enough. Ling flanker, no. And so we have a change of plans here. The Warp Prism is going to come up now, and it looks like a setup for some Archon harass.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how much he'll get done with that, but reasonable to do. No reason why you would not try to get something done there.
Right.
Now, Hurricane's actually taking a rather quick 4th, and in a great location as well in that bottom right corner. Very defendable. +2 melee does get started finally here. Burrow as well, kind of interesting to see. Storm coming up, as well as Blink. So, yeah, we're just kind of like completing all the mid-game tech.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, things are just being ironed out on each side here. I do like the Burrow upgrade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're going to be getting into a pretty drawn out and dramatic PVZ here. The Zerg needs to take a 5th pretty soon here. I will point that out.
He's got an outstanding drone count. He's had 80+ drones for a long time.
Now, on this map, if you just look at it, there's not that many more bases for Zerg, really, that are safe from pushes, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, the top left base can probably be taken, and unless, like, a bunch of DTs with Blink jump on top of it and kill it, like, you could safely control that, right? But some of the other spots on the map do seem pretty hard for Zerg to really safely hold. It seems like this one over here is, again, very pushable, just like the 4th base is. So we want to watch for that.
DRG, like, I'm actually, like, what he's doing doesn't look like anything in particular. He's getting 2-2 for Lings, that's great. Baneling speed, yeah. And he's making, like, Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager, which can be okay. I don't know, it doesn't, like, watching what he's doing, I don't understand what this late mid game is exactly. You know, like he's going to attack, but it shouldn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't seem, I like the way that you said it. It doesn't seem like he's doing anything in particular.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like he's, I don't know, it doesn't feel like there's a real plan here.
Yeah.
He made a bunch of units, he's getting good upgrades, he's attacking. And it's like, well, I mean, the types of units that Hurricane has and has made, he should not take damage here. Like, he should be able to hold this army very easily, I would say.
Yeah. Disjointed attack continues up here from Hurricane, but yeah, I'm on the same page as you are, Toast. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's this was a build-up to anything special. I think the Protoss's tech setup was much better, much safer. I mean, these storms are insane. I think this fight's just about been won. I mean, this base is going to go down. Keep in mind the base adjacent to the right. If this base is lost, so is that one.
Well, he's killed like the whole army and a base and a bunch of drones, and he has 4 bases.
It's funny to see the difference in these two in DRG's 2 matchups that are not the mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, Hurricane stomped him.
He did.
And again, I didn't seem like DRG had any kind of plan. Like, he came out with like some Roaches and some Ravagers, and then he had some Banelings. And Protoss had literally all the units that you need in that part of the game to push out. And also, DRG was out off creep as if he was somehow supposed to be taking a fight.
Yeah, and there's
clearly that's not going to happen.
There's no universe in which he is advantaged aggressively.
Look at this. Bunny's like,
situation.
I'm so sorry you got to face TY, man. Good luck, dude. He's
just do what I did, man.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Yeah, that was a weird game. I feel like DRG really not on top of his ZVP team.
A lot of question marks with that game for sure. Up next, guys, the winners match. Hurricane versus Bunny. Okay. Let's do it, guys. Short break, and then we do that next best of 3.
And now they're playing our favorite song that we used to dance to nights like tonight. The pain is fading, feels so amazing to know you hurt me for the last time. So I ain't crying anymore. I'm stronger than I was before. You keep calling me again, but I keep dancing anyway. 'Cause now that you're gone, I'm number 1. Boy, I should thank you for who I've become. Don't need no one, this girl's having fun. Watch me catch fire, yeah, look what you've done. Look what you've done. Look what you've done. The beat puts my body next to some maybe something you wanna keep in your head. If I ain't your girlfriend, I won't let go of your hand. Disappointed, 'cause you never see me. I'm better than you think of you. You're not very simple, you. Hold me to the waist, baby, touch me on my skin when you slow me. Let me be something that you never imagined. Hold me to the waist, baby, touch me on my skin or just love me. Something that you never imagined.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와, 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 방토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥. 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
성능을 언제 어디서나 가볍게 즐기다. 지포스 GTX 1650 그래픽 최신 인텔 10세대 프로세서 탑재. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어.
이상한데? 이렇게 작아. 너무 안 보이는데? 보이지가 않잖아. 이거 쓸 수가
아니,
없는데?
저 키워보라고.
성능을 17대 화면으로 언제 어디서나 더 크게 즐기다. WQXGA 초고화질의 17대 화면, 16대10 최적의 화면비. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
성능을 대용량 배터리로 언제 어디서나 더 오래 즐기다. 72Wh 대용량 배터리. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어. 듀얼 메모리, 듀얼 저장 장치. 고성능을 듀얼 업그레이드로 더 오랜 기간 즐기다.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
아이시스 에코. 오늘 내룩의 찰떡.
마시고 분리수거 끝.
많은 분들이 아이시스 에코를 따르고 있습니다.
이것도 라벨이 없네?
무라벨은 따라해도 대환영. 팔로우디 에코. 아이시스 에코.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거. 깨. 이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스강. 환도 역시 가스강이 대세.
Look where we are. We've made it far. The overgrowth is breaking apart. Step by step, don't rush ahead. Winter's kind. Gives you breath. Feel the calm. For now you know. Take my hand. Keep looking
Round of 16. TY, Bunny, Hurricane, DRG, GSL Season 1, Code S. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6, 2021, GSL Season 1.
What is up? We're back already in the winners match here. Two players. I mean, I personally didn't think we're going to be fighting against each other, especially Bunny. Who is the favorite out of these two guys?
Hurricane and Bunny?
I think Hurricane.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
They're like actually, in my brain, they're like almost exactly the same skill. I actually think Hurricane maybe is just a tiny bit stronger, but Bunny knocked out stats and now just killed TY, so I don't know.
I mean, the weird thing is, Bunny did beat TY, but the games were all extremely unusual, right? I mean, I guess TY kind of shot himself in the foot with a bad drop and then followed it up with a push that probably wasn't going to work. It was held, and then he was auto-turreted down.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's TY playing poorly. I mean, props to Bunny for winning, but kind of an unusual set of games. And then the DRG and Hurricane games were also kind of weird.
Those were kind of bad. DRG was completely unready game one for the attack from Hurricane, and then game two, what he was doing wasn't a thing.
We still don't understand what exactly the game plan was from DRG. I mean, it's just
he did several things well. Like he droned well. His very beginning opening, like +1 melee against Stargate. Yeah, no, I like that. That's good, right? Getting the Baneliness. Okay, yeah, no problem here. Getting Roach Horn, making some Roaches and Ravagers. Okay, yeah. Going into 2-2, very late Hive, and then just making a bunch of units and attacking when Hurricane has not been harassed at all and has built exactly the army he wants. That part doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I just don't know what he was doing out there, what the plan was, or what kind of... Maybe he thought he could counterattack with that army as the push came up, and then the push actually came to him? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like he wanted to attack, and then, of course it didn't work, and then Hurricane's just like, I guess I'll kill you, and that was it.
And I know we're talking about the two losers and how they played, but that's what makes it harder for us to kind of decide who's really in better shape right now to take this. The person who wins is the first player to advance to the round of 8. That's huge.
Yeah.
Especially in a group with TY and DRG.
Well, this is supposed to be the easy group, too.
For those guys, yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. If I had to pick somebody, I'd say maybe Hurricane. He's looking pretty strong. But Bunny is winning upset after upset after upset.
He is.
And this,
it's so strange. Like, I don't think that it can continue. Like, him versus Hurricane, anything can happen. But, like, the games against Stats and then the games against TY, there is definitely a bit of luck involved there. It wasn't like, wow, Bunny's mechanically better than them, or wow, he's microing better, or even wow, he has better strategies. He has brought good strategies, and he has played well, but it's, I feel like this is, he's like, this is peak Bunny we're watching right now, right?
I mean, you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of the player Deer in his first season, where he kept winning, and you and I on breaks would be like, whoa, man, that's kind of wild. I wonder how far he's going to go. And
I remember you said, wouldn't it be weird if this no-name Protoss named Deer wins the tournament?
Yeah, imagine saying Deer the champion, and then he did win. But I'm kind of having those vibes with Bunny where I'm in disbelief each step of the way, and maybe, I'm going to look back on this and be like, no, man, Bunny played an ingenious series and came out on top, series after series. Let's find out. Different matchup, PVT this time, against a very different player, Hurricane. Map 1 is going to be on Death Aura. Hurricane versus Bunny. Let's get this thing going.
...2021 GSL Season 1. Hurricane. Team NV, Bunny.
All right. Let us see.
Yeah, Bunny sending an SCV out here, going around up towards the top. And what's he going to throw, an eBay down here?
He might, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is semi-popular. We don't see it every game by any means, but it can throw the Protoss off a little bit, right? They have their very tight build order that they want to hit, and then as soon as they see that, it's like, okay, make a Zealot, make a second pylon. Here we go. Kind of luckily for Hurricane, he's already started the Cyber, so I think that this version of the Expand is actually a little bit better against that. Look how high health he got that, though. That is going to take a while to knock down.
It's so strong. This is actually one of the oldest ideas in StarCraft, is the eBay thrown down to block a building. It's weird because it's like, it started in StarCraft 1 and it's not as common, but then it became more common later on. But the idea, because the eBay is so cheap, you just plop it down. You can cancel without the SCV needing to be there. And it builds extremely fast. The eBay has to build quickly because, there's units like DTs in the game where this thing has to be made at a certain pace, right, to get it out. And it's a funny way that Terran, there's not many other things that Terran can do like this. This almost looks like something a Protoss could do, like make a building there and block something and then dictate the way the game goes. But it does happen with eBays in some matchups in StarCraft 1 and 2. And this is one of the matchups that can happen in StarCraft 2 is the eBay block here. To delay the Nexus.
Yeah, and he will go ahead and delay it, but there's this proxy starport being made. Hurricane did go for a center gate as well, so he'll be putting on some pressure, but there's no command center, right? So it feels like it should be something that can be held here by Bunny. Definitely a very strange first game, though. Looks like a Hellion drop is the order here from Bunny. Sending out those first two Hellions.
Okay. As the game goes on, we got to watch for what exactly is going to be the role with the starport if the Protoss is actually putting pressure on here. It makes sense the Protoss would want to have some counter pressure coming in over here. The Hellions are going to go around. Now, this is going to be a pretty open main base. I mean, there's one Marine here. There's not a lot Terran can do to fight back. There's a wall in for the Terran, so we can at least stop the progress of the push coming in over there. But it should be pretty clear when the Hellions left like that there's going to be a drop incoming here. And this is already kind of looking like a pretty weird game to start things off.
It definitely is a pretty weird game. One Hellion gets up, the force field going to block the rest, but Medevac going to fly them up. Now, all these units in that main base, he's going to lose a lot of probes, I would say.
I think so. He needs to make some more of these shots connect. Let's see. He's actually... It's kind of crazy. He's
I thought
actually
he was going to get a bit more than that. But.
Yeah. Terran was for a second there double supply blocked, but this attack is continuing here.
Yeah, still has several units. The SCV is going to come out and help. He does go for a recall.
Yep,
and
just
we'll get
saves
just
the stalker.
Okay, so who came out on top there?
I feel like the Terran is a little bit more hiccup there, losing the depots. I mean, he's going to get the command center landed over here. Actually, I'm not even sure now. I don't know.
I think Bunny came out slightly ahead after that. It kind of feels that way to me because we don't really have good tech for Hurricane yet. He is going Dark Shrine, so I mean, obviously that can switch things around, but just look at the SCV count. It's close enough that I like it for Bunny, right? I always expect in an even game for Protoss to be upworkers a little bit.
It looks like the Terran's going to get the first attack that's going to come out here. And let's see how Hurricane's able to deal with it. He has some stalkers here. I'm not sure what's up north of this besides the 3 stalkers. There's definitely going to be stuff at his natural, but he actually chases the medevac away, which is pretty big. Also, if he can take this pylon out before the Dark Shrine finishes, that would help out as well.
Oh,
because
yeah,
I'm sure
that's pretty big.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the launching pad for the DT warpin.
Yeah,
that's now been shut down.
Oh man, walking them all the way across the map is so much worse. Ooh, nice move there from Bunny. He does have a Raven coming out as well, so it doesn't seem like the DTs are going to be all that strong. Very exciting watching this Gateway die.
This is my favorite part of this game, is watching the Gateway get blown up.
Is he going to get it?
I think, well, who knows? We'll have to wait until we go back there and find out for sure. So the Warpin's going to come instead from the Warp Prism. I guess it wasn't a big deal, actually. That pylon was killed. But let's see. Ooh, what this drop?
All right, the mine not really getting the connection it hopes for.
Yeah, pretty good pull away there. Now that DT's inside the base. Oh, Terran is so ready for this. That DT will barely get away. Do you make another DT and try to go for Archon drops, or what is the plan, really? I guess you're kind of forced to go for Archons or no matter what, right?
Yeah. Archon drops against Terran, I do like them. They can be a little bit risky with the Raven in there. You see a lot of, like, bluffing with them. I think he's going to do it, because why wouldn't you? But if you do screw up and lose that, like you already went DT tech, so you are going to be in terrible shape.
Yeah, a loss is much more guaranteed if you do end up losing the War Prism and the 2 Archons. So there's a third DT that needs to be made, or second DT needs to be made, excuse me, to make that into an Archon.
A couple Hellions sent up through the map. A couple Stalkers going to catch them, though. Force them back.
Not a bad catch.
And there is that additional DT. So yeah, that Archon drop going to be coming in. Those Archons definitely an important part of this strategy, as well as that Warp Prism. Does have an Immortal out, really importantly. You know, when you do some of these DT openers, your army is just a little bit softer than normal.
Yeah, you can do a lot of damage, but DTs really can't fight, like head-to-head. They're extremely weak. I'm sorry, did he just lose the Warp Prism?
He can't have.
No, I don't see it anywhere. And I saw something explode. I think he lost that. I think he flew over a turret.
God.
Pretty bad play, to be honest with you.
If he lost the Prism, like, I guess he was looking elsewhere. You're right,
I mean,
he did lose it.
He did save the Archons, but which I guess it's not. I mean, that's the best you can get out of a complete misplay like that.
They are more important. They're worth more than the Prism, but yeah that's rough. Like, it wasn't there only a turret there, so.
I guess he had it right-clicked there, or maybe it got wound up in another hotkey group, and
possibly. Okay, well, he's remaking the Prism. Bunny has that third base up. Looking pretty good for Bunny so far this game. I do like his spot a lot better than Hurricane's.
Okay, here comes that push now. Yeah, Hurricane has had a couple hiccups so far, and this is absolutely a softer tech against a Terran push compared to like, oh my God!
Oof. Nothing in it, but yeah, that
No, I
hurts.
mean, I don't know what's happening with Hurricane right now. He's going to unpower this pylon here, and that's going to be pretty helpful because he can probably pick this up and then come in with a push later on. He wants to get to the edge.
Yeah, he is bringing up that push actually towards the natural right now.
Yeah, here we go. Going to target down this Immortal.
Man.
The Archon is behind, actually. The Immortal does live. I think he kind of overextended here with this attack. He picks up there. Doesn't lose any of the medevacs in all the fights that we saw back there.
Kind of an interesting disable. A little counterattack comes in from Hurricane. Deal a little bit of damage, kills a tank, a couple SCVs. Maybe not exactly what he was looking for, though.
So now, Terran can gather up, and even though Protoss holds that, I'll tell you what, man. I think that the next push is going to be even stronger. Protoss lost enough of the important units. I'm worried, actually, in general, about just the way Hurricane's controlling everything. Like, it just seems like he's not really handling any of the fights very well. And this is, simply put, a bigger army. Protoss is going to have superior tech. The Raven should have a disable, right?
Yeah,
I think
he
he
did
does.
use one in the previous attack, but
Yeah.
okay, he actually uses the anti-armor here.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to go for the Colossus. I guess the Colossus was in a spot you couldn't quite hunt down. But again, another big victory. All he's got to do is inch in either to this area up here or to the right of it.
His army looks so much stronger. It's actually kind
Yeah.
of crazy. Force fields might be the only thing that's going to keep him alive here if he is going to live through this.
Yeah, well, this might... Oh, I don't see any force fields just yet. He's going to blink forward here. The tanks are shelling out a lot of damage over here. The Archon should fall. And from there, it's just going to be the Colossus and a couple of Stalkers. That's it. GG. Bunny takes game one. The Bunninator.
No, it's just kind of...
I can't believe this.
He really outdid him there.
Is Bunny the next Terran Banjois?
Yeah, I mean... I'm happy for him. He continues to deliver. You know, I like the eBay block. The Hellion harassment did reasonably well. He held on against the counter-aggression 2-gate pretty well overall. Feels like he did play better than Hurricane, but Hurricane, it didn't feel like he played particularly well there. I think he got thrown off and didn't quite... Maybe he's a Protoss that really needs his plans to go how he wants them.
That can happen. Some of these builds, Protoss, or even some of the other races where you're doing something very specific and there's a series of sequences you have to pull off in order to make that exciting, aggressive build work. If it backfires, one or two times in that sequence, you could be totally thrown off. Map 2 is ready. Let's see what happens on Oxide.
2021 GSL Season 1. Hurricane. Team NV, Bunny.
Where was his oil spill? He didn't get
That's
the
why
oil
he's
spill,
getting out,
Wreath?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The gasoline on a sunny day.
Well, the shape
Coloring.
of the shape of it, they switched the camera earlier in the last match a
Yeah.
little bit too early, and then the wreath was actually like around one of the pro gamer heads, and all I could think is like this is like Oil Caesar over here.
Yeah. That guy's got to go fight Captain Planet. So we've got the eBay coming down again.
Yeah, doing that twice in a row.
It's not broken, don't fix it. Got to go up with that same opener. Not that even the opener was really what put him in that position. Not all games are like this, but the Terran loss did seem to... Sorry, the Terran win, excuse me, did seem to be partially due to the Protoss, just not controlling well. It's
He
this
lost
really
2
doesn't.
prisms for free. He didn't block the Hellion drop that well. He blocked it okay. I did think there was going to be a few more pro kills. But
Yeah, well, I mean, we should put emphasis on it's not just that you lost a Warp Prism. Like, you can lose a Warp Prism in a fight, or you're doing a crazy drop and you warped in 20 Zealots and you're committed. It's totally different if you just flew it into a turret.
Yeah, and then
I mean,
flew it into an army the second time.
Now you're like the everyman StarCraft player.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
now you're just one of us when you're doing that, not somebody who's supposed to be playing, but you're. And the fact that happened twice, and look, I mean, the Warp Prism, it's only, I mean, it's cheap, man. But the truth is, the fact that you lost that out of the Robo, it has to be remade. The fact that it's going to be necessary.
Well, just that it's gone off the map for a little bit as well, don't forget.
Yeah,
just having a prism is scary.
You can at least threaten counterplay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kind of a big deal to lose that. It's also odd because Hurricane played so well. But look, let's see if he can shake it off and play better in Game 2 here.
Yeah. All right, Stargate is being made, and he did get the scout off on that, but then he cancels it as soon as he kills the Reaper and goes for a Twilight. Interesting play here from Hurricane.
Yeah. Let's see where it goes.
Well, you have to defend Oracle, right? Like, you just must. As soon as you see the Stargate, you're like, all right, well, we're going to make sure that the Oracle does not get me, or the Phoenixes. It might make you stay in your base instead of go do a drop, things like that, right? So, yeah, it's definitely a bit of a tricky mind game here from Hurricane.
I like it from Hurricane. I think it's smart. It is funny to see a DT Shrine twice in a row. Here comes the Robo now as well.
That is interesting, isn't it? Because, like, I guess you expect... Some people do turrets in the mineral line, some do them on the fringe to zone out things like Phoenix or like Oracles. But I guess it is more likely to be like in the middle of the line, which the Archon drop will do reasonably well against. Although the DT should be detected, right? Because you kind of expect there to be some anti-air. There should be a turret probably.
Let's see if his Warp Prism's going to be a little bit better this time around.
Hard to be worse.
Yeah, it's hard for it to be too much worse. Obviously, this is pretty big for both of these guys. I mean, maybe Hurricane can bob DRG again if DRG beats TY, which honestly could happen.
Yes, that's a real possibility.
I mean, the bigger picture here is both these guys were sort of underdogs, you know, compared to the background of the two players they win against. The losers match is going to be maybe the highlight of the night, but definitely, you know, in a best of 3 like this, you want to get out. You're desperate to escape here. Okay, the push comes down, snipes that probe. No third base set up here. War Prism is northbound.
Yeah, there are a couple DTs out. Like, I think he's going to hold this without much problem, right? If you warp in another DT, maybe he can use a scan, but then the DT drop is going to do very well. But this is a scary attack. He is really focusing on that pylon.
Okay, the DT's coming up now. How quick is Bunny going to catch on? Now the DT's here. He's got to decide, does he scan in this attack, or does he scan back home?
That DT, don't you? Or your damage is going to go away right away.
Yeah, now he kills it, but of course you can always have one by one DTs coming in. It looks like for the most part he's held this, but this is so much damage here on Hurricane. Now, does he have another scan? There's going to be a point, I think it might be now, where the scans have dried up.
Yeah, it seems like this should end up clearing the rest of the Marines. But the DT's in the main.
It's 29 probes to 34 SCVs.
What a crazy game. Just about no gas here for Bunny. And I mean, he still has the Prism, which makes this so tough. Yeah, picks him up as the scan comes down. Has to make that turret ASAP.
Protoss is going to squeak out that third base, and this is going to be a ton of gateways thrown down here. We're going to go into the Zealot charge tech. And
third base and lots of gates.
Yeah.
What do you think the plan is there? Like,
it does seem like he's doing a lot at once, doesn't it? It
Yeah,
does seem
for
like
how
it's,
much damage he took, it does.
or at least it seems like it's a lot of gateways to also be having a third base that's being made, right?
And also being this low in probes. You
And-
don't even have a 2-base economy
Yeah,
right now.
you finished my thought for me. Absolutely. I mean, this is not enough probes to properly support 3 bases. You need to. So I don't know. I'm not sure if it's because Hurricane in the Chaos didn't spend his money as he wanted to, which is possible because when you have DTs like that, you really have to babysit each one. But yeah, it does seem to be a build going in a lot of different directions at once. And if he's going to keep making probes, support as many gates as he can while doing that, while filling up the third base, does Terran have an opportunity, maybe with a more balanced approach, to maybe push this?
Well, yeah, who is actually going to be ahead here? Bunny's economy is better despite that third Nexus being up on location.
Yeah.
The tech is better for Bunny as well, honestly, because like this is not... There's just not a lot going on
Dude,
for Hurricane.
he got that pylon. Oh. Okay, he's going to come in here, going for probes, which is perfectly fine as well.
Yeah, Hellion goes over, sees that third base. Look at this, just the small warp-ins. He's going to be able to clear that with this.
Yeah,
like, warping in one zealot at a time is not the way to clear something.
These warp-ins are just too spaced apart. I mean, Terran really killed back there. That's much more than you'd expect. The Archons are coming down here. Again, he's got to be careful. It's possible the Archons are dropped, and then the Raven disables the Warp Prism, and the Archons are stuck there and ultimately are killed. Now, here comes that push. Now, again, for Artosis and me, I think the math is a little bit more fuzzy on this one because the game's been a bit unusual. But
I think Bunny just holds. Like,
I think
can't
so,
imagine
right?
this killing him.
It's a lot of Zealots and Archons, but
is.
the SimCity's pretty damn good.
Yeah, he has to get through this, which he will, but the high ground is, like, ready for him. Look at that. Brings up those SCVs and stop positions them on top of the Siege Tank. So hard for him to get on top of it. And yeah, with the Siege Tanks on the high ground, he does kill a good amount of SCVs here. Pushes that tank forward. Some damage being done on the fringes.
Yeah, he's pushed in. I feel like this is an overcommitment. Is this actually going to work?
Well, I think he feels like he needs to win here, or at least do a lot of damage. All right, a drop coming into that third base. Nothing really there, and it looks like he's going to push forward now.
Right.
Dropping his Archon on top of the Siege Tanks.
The tank is barely killed. He can't quite get on top of this one tank that's still shelling him out here. Back at home, I mean, there's still damage being done. That's it. Hurricane. What a weird game.
Yeah, well, that was... Both of those were really, really kind of scrappy, crazy games, but Bunny is the one that dictated both of them.
I really don't understand the thought process of attacking the Terran when he's sitting on 2 bases. I mean, you look at those buildings, and what do you have? You have Zealots and Archons.
Yeah.
Right? Now, obviously, there's Unicomps that fight that, but really what beats that is structures walling areas off, right? Yeah. That's really how you stop that, is you make it impossible for, particularly the Zealots, to actually connect their attacks. And Archons, they suffer from obstructions as well. So, yeah, I mean, a very odd attack. Oh, we're actually going to go to the interview right now. Go ahead, Andy.
An absolute beast of a performance by Bunny, and he moves on to the round of 8. Congratulations. Thank you. After 2019 Season 1, this is your performance in 2 years. You beat TY, and now you beat Hurricane to move on to round of 8. How do you feel? Or during preparation? I had so much fun. And the games were so enjoyable. And while preparing for the round of 16, it was so fun to play the games, and I played really hard. And I'm just so happy after winning the 2 players today. So, Bunny, are you saying that the games are enjoyable these days? Well, in the past, I was too desperate to play my games, and I'll feel uncomfortable. And I used to be so stressed out like a day before the games or a week before the games. And now I've regained the confidence in terms of skills. And now I'm trying my best to play my games more in a more enjoyable fashion. Oh, that's good to hear, Bunny. Alright, let's go for the second set. You went for the Cyclone and the Viking.
우간을 봤을 때의 경우인데
So you went for these this composition after you watched Stargate build coming out from the opponent.
그냥 이거 되게 단순한데.
Well, it's really simple, really.
컨트롤에 좀 자신이 있어가지고.
You know, I'm really good at controlling my Cyclone, I think.
이기도 하고.
So I do win my games a lot using Cyclones.
많이 이득을 봤던 기억이 있어가지고.
And you know, often I used to gain advantage with my Cyclones in my terms of micro.
전태양 선수를 이긴 게 참 극적이라는 생각이
And it was quite dramatic beating TY in the first match. Because TY made his happy group with the players he wanted.
와, 두 분의 빌드 싸움 얘기를 해볼까요?
But you guys had different builds.
빌드를 하고 패배를 했었잖아요.
So TY went for proxy and then he lost.
이게
And then you went for the proxy build later on.
연습을 사실
So what was that about?
운영 위주로 막 이번에 한 맘먹고 하면 후반에 보자 이렇게 하고.
So during preparation, I mainly focused on my macro in the late game. So in my first set, when I lost so easily,
준비를 안 했는데 갑자기 딱 꽂혀가지고 했는데.
You know, then I decided to just go for one proxy match, proxy game.
그냥 저도 모르게 일꾼이 나가더라고요.
And you know, without my consciousness, my SCV was just going to the enemy's base without me knowing it.
전태양 선수는 전지 1병형이었는데 똑같이 1병형 정도로 안 하고 그럼 2병형으로 한 이유도 있어요?
So TY actually went for the one barrack proxy, but you went for the two barracks. What was the reason about it?
제 머릿속에 그 개념이 제가 전진 투병형 사신을 하면은 상대가 전진 어떤 걸 하든 예를 들어 막
In my head,
불공하든 뭘 하든
the concept was
이긴다는 생각이 있어가지고
if I opt for the two barracks proxy, I knew that I would win no matter how the opponent reacts to it.
이후 2년 만에 8강입니다.
So again, Bunny, this is your round of 8 in 2 years. You'll be playing against the second seed of Group B. Do you prefer playing against Terran or Zerg? Of course, it's Zerg.
테란도 괜찮은 것 같아요.
I mean, a Terran is fine.
그러니까 2등이랑 만나니까 상대가 꼭 1등으로 진출해서.
So I'm playing against the second seed of Group B, so I'm probably not going to play against Maru, that's for sure. So how will we see your performance in the round of 8, Bunny? Before you go, anything you want to say?
부모님 항상 감사드리고.
I'm ever grateful to my parents.
도와준 분들에게 정말 감사하고.
And thank you for helping me with the streams.
아끼지 않는 지원해주시고 계신데.
And Team Envy is very supportive of my performance as well. I'll try to deliver a better performance in the next game. Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, so that is the first conclusion of the night, is that Bunny advances first out of this group. That's wild, man.
Well, it is Easter, so...
It is Easter, that is true.
It makes sense that a bunny would end up winning.
That is actually a very good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Now this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that kind of explains this group in a nutshell.
Yeah. We're actually going to go to a break right now. When we come back, the next best of 3. Do not go away.
성능을 대용량 배터리로 언제 어디서나 더 오래 즐기다. 72Wh 대용량 배터리, 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준, LG 울트라 기어. 듀얼 메모리, 듀얼 저장 장치, 고성능을 듀얼 업그레이드로 더 오랜 기간 즐기다.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
아이시스 에코. 오늘 내 룩에 찰떡.
마시고 분리수거 끝.
많은 분들이 아이시스 에코를 따르고 있습니다.
이것도 라벨이 없네?
무라벨은 따라해도 대환영. 팔로우디 에코. 아이시스 에코.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거 깨. 이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스감. 환도 역시 가스감이 대세.
Round of 16. TY. Bunny. Hurricane. DRG. GSL Season 1. Code S. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6, 2021, GSL Season 1.
We're back, and we have, again, I'm going to say it again, it feels weird. Bunny advanced first out of this group.
Offered himself up as TY's sacrifice towards another championship, and then just spanks the group and goes out in first place on Easter as Bunny.
I can't believe it.
He played us all.
Get your Cadbury eggs ready.
This is the long con. 12 years in the making.
I know, he just had to wait for the one day. And let's do a little bit of Easter egg hunting. Artosis, what do you say?
Easter egg hunting is amazing, man. I miss it.
You miss it?
Yeah.
I guess we can't do it with COVID, right?
I did an Easter egg hunt with my kids. It's just that's the thing. What, are they going to hide eggs for me? That doesn't work.
Yeah, you're too good. You find those eggs immediately.
Right away. Like, did you guys even try?
TY versus DRG. This is another thing that feels weird to say. One of these players is about to be eliminated first in the round of 16 in Season 1. I can't believe it.
2021.
Let's do this.
GSL Season 1. Africa Freaks, TY. Team NV, DRG.
Let's get rid of one of these players.
I guess so. I thought this would be the winner match.
I know.
And it's kind of crazy because DRG's Zerg vs. Protoss looked super weak against Hurricane, but his Zerg vs. Terran is really good. It is capable of beating TY best of 3. I still think TY is a little bit favored, but yeah, he's dangerous.
Both these guys are so good. It is in one sense sad that one of them is going to be knocked out, but this is kind of a pleasant surprise as well because it's such an unexpected series of games so far. I mean, really, we're already starting out with a very different looking round of 8. I mean, normally, you know, you see Bunny go to round of 8, you get excited, right? You go, oh, that's so cool. Good for him. You know, we're used to seeing him, you know, just not do as well as these other guys, to put it simply.
He's not even a regular in the round of 16.
No, you're right.
So to get to the round of 8 is really big for him.
Yeah, and I mean, he's done it in kind of a crazy fashion. But you know, you look at these guys like TY and DRG. It's also wild. One of them's going to get knocked out. We can end up with a very different round of 8 if we have a couple more plot twists here. And I'll tell you this too. DRG is very strong at this matchup. This is sort of the matchup that keeps reminding everybody that DRG is a real threat in general. But maybe DRG can take out TY. Maybe that happens. And then I don't know what happens with Hurricane and DRG. Maybe this is the absolute big upset group.
Yeah, it could be. And don't forget what could happen in the round of 8. Like, Maru is favored to win his group. What if TY gets second here? Maru versus TY round of 8 match? That doesn't sound right. That is a finals match, literally.
Yeah,
they're not supposed to meet before then.
Now, hopefully DRG plays a little bit better. I think there's more question marks about DRG's play so far than TY's. Yeah. TY took a risk in Game 2 and it didn't work, and then he just seemed to he seemed to play Game 3 as if his drop worked. You know, he killed one SCV, lost the Hellions, and then pushed anyways, and it's like, normally,
well, yeah, he got a little bit out of position, and the drop killed SCVs, and he's like, "Let's go!" Like, I'm behind. And
yeah, honestly, I think Game 3, and I have high standards for TY, but Game 3 was I think one of the more disappointing performances from TY here.
Well, I'm sure he is more disappointed than you and I.
No. Well, TY is, again, he's sort of the our anime protagonist of this tournament. I mean, if he's not playing, he'll be cast and he'll be with us one way or the other. But yeah, TY has basically become one of the 3 or 4 most consistent players in the past 3 years, 2 years or so here. Just really always delivering. He's always a safe bet to win. So it's funny to see him in this kind of a position.
Ooh, look at this. The Hellion run by, something that doesn't generally do that well. He actually gets in on top of these drones really heavily. And that was pretty good defense. Only 4 drones falling. That's not bad.
I thought it was going to do a lot more when I saw him attempt to put the Evo down, but it got blocked.
Yeah. At that moment, I'm like, oops.
Yeah, this should be bad. But surface area, the Hellions, they have to really line up with the targets, so they didn't quite get the kind of spray they wanted to get.
And now he doesn't really have the strong Hellion Banshee combo, which is a bit of an issue, right? Like, you really do want those together. Anytime you dive with the Hellions, you're really hoping for a lot of damage. It generally doesn't come, though. Like, you know, back in Wings Liberty, you just run by everything with the Hellions and kill a million drones. Like, oh, I am so good. Nowadays, it's like you run past, and, I mean, you just saw it. Even in the best circumstance possible where he blocks the Evo from being made, it doesn't do that much. Let's see what this Banshee gets done. Already a couple drones.
Okay, coming down now. I'm trying to get these workers over here. Again, TY's damage has been not bad, but also not amazing either. Seeing no detectors here. This is actually, it's going to start to add up for sure.
6, 7 kills. That's like way better than the Hellions.
And these things all begin to add up. Stim starting back at home for TY. Third CC about to finish. I don't think we're going to see a very quick push from TY, but instead probably a bigger build-up here. And probably go for a bit more of a control mid-game.
Second Banshee coming in. So 9 drone kills total as he pulls away. That third command center going to be finishing up here pretty shortly. A couple medevacs about to pop out. Just baiting speed on the way for DRG. We'll see where he goes with this. Like, we don't have a Spire or anything yet. But we've seen him in the past play just Ling Bane into late game, like Ultra and stuff. See, maybe that's how he wants to do it.
So a lot more Lings inbound here. Here come the double medevacs moving out. And that is, like, I'm like, is that Bunny playing? There's a tank inside the medevac? He's going to try to set up over here. I'm like, now TY plays like Bunny does.
You can't beat him doing them. All right, I'm not sure how much he's really going to get done here. It seems like DRG has enough.
Yeah, this doesn't look like it would ever work, right? I mean,
I guess it's about efficiency. He's going to go ahead and lose that tank. He's killing a decent
Yeah.
amount of Lings.
Medic Marine are funny again because certain angles they get, it's like, oh, you're gonna way defeat the Lings.
Yeah. This is definitely a part of that push too, though, right?
Absolutely.
Is bringing these Banshees in from the side, all the queens left.
It's funny, he comes back and almost moves out and he goes, wait a minute. This is actually going pretty well. The queens should be able to get down there in time, but you know, damage like this adds up. You can transfuse this to save it, of course, but it's just energy going into something that's not creep tumors or injections.
All right, gonna get out of there without losing anything.
Act 2.
Another tank. All right, let's go.
And look, it seemed like DRG was doing okay holding this, but you can start to fray at the seams of your defense.
Yeah.
It's not an easy position, especially if he gets behind this extractor here. He could take a fight, pick up, relocate, and pop right back down to the other refiner, or like gases or whatever that are down there. And I mean, this is, you know, TY really taking his fights, right? And so far, it's not bad. What is the HP on that layer? Is it fully healed back up, or?
I'm not sure. It looks like it might have gotten a transfusion. It seemed like it wasn't bleeding enough for how much damage they did before.
It's not one of the best things to do is try to go for a building that big, but if a building is not attended and that happens a couple times, suddenly you lose a game because they shoot down your layer in your main. You know, and that's
I
just
imagine
not.
that he threw a transfuse down on it. Like, if you lose a layer in your main
Oh,
base.
I'm sure he did. I'm just saying if these fights keep on happening and he's able to slip over there a couple more times. So now we're going to have the rest of the infantry, medevacs, tanks move out. All the little skirmishes we saw were basically a build-up to the push we're seeing right now. And it's going to come on the as 1-1 completes here. So this is going to be extremely strong. The counterattack, it's okay. It makes Terran respect the Zerg's positioning, but it's not going to really stop this push from coming. And of course, as much as it is great to kill SCVs and stuff in a counter, it's also extremely important to stop the actual push that's intended to end the game. And so that push is going to come out. He might use this high ground as sort of a siege tank point. Yeah, we're seeing him set it up here. And then he can use the lip around the lower edge here to have other tanks and Marines hug this area.
Yeah, look at this. Very nice micro from TUI, keeping that pressure on. I love that siege tank placement. So hard to get those Banelings up to actually do anything here. Oh, actually gets a decent connection there. TUI whittling everything down. Now it does look like it's going to be Lingbane Hydra. His 2-2 is just slightly ahead of TUI's. But TUI getting Drilling Claws, still making siege tanks. The creep spread is pretty awesome, especially towards the north, and he is taking his 5th base up in the top right.
Okay, pushing out now.
Dude, these Banshees are actually pretty killer.
TY is doing a fantastic job on a lot of different fronts. He's really not overextending. These Banes are going to come up. They're not really hitting their targets, and so he clears the tank, but the infantry are absolutely a real threat.
I tell you, the Banshees defensively have done a lot against these Lingbane counterattacks. Like,
Yeah.
it's not something that I'm used to seeing that much, right? Is 2 Banshees just sitting there. Like, a lot of times we see Banshee defense against things like incoming Roach Ravager. But the fact that they've been floating around and DRG's trying to do things with Lingbane and has to pull back quicker than he wants to, it's really impactful.
It's pretty impressive, for sure. So it's 4 base versus 5. DRG just finished his new base at the upper right. A pretty difficult base on this map for Terran to push. It's pretty far removed. And it seems like we're now getting to the point where DRG is going to be looking for a fight. He's going to be massing up lots of Banes. There'll be Ling and Hydra behind that. And this is really to force a fight and win it and ideally destroy a base. Because, and again, if it doesn't succeed and you make a ton of Banes and it does not work out, you were completely cost inefficient and you'll lose. Oh my god, these Baneling landmines are insane! I think he missed it.
Yeah.
They just went right over. Unreal, man. I think DRG still clearly has enough to drive this away, but those may be, funnily enough, more important later on, too. I don't think he intentionally didn't detonate him, but...
No, I think he was dealing with top right, so missed it. And TY having to pick up all over the place. You know, when you start to get a decent amount of Hydras out, it gets really hard to continue this pressure, because the Hydras add that base damage in the back and can actually pick off the medevac so much faster than Queens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're seeing even as an example back there, that Queen firing away at the medevac, and it still slowly flies away to this corner of the map.
Double drop coming down on DRG's 6th base. Oh no, he actually flies by to the main where there were already Lings. But Banes, yeah, I guess as they pop, he's going to have to pick up. Oh, that was almost the greatest Bane hit.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. The medevacs are to come through the top. And, you know, it's funny. TY looks pretty scary. He's being pretty aggressive everywhere, but let's keep in mind, he hasn't really shut DRG down on any front. We have another attack coming in here. It looks like this one is going to go very well for DRG. TY, though, going to push through here now. And it looks like he's going to do kind of a funny-looking attack right in the middle of everything, but maybe this is going to work. Oh, maybe not. This looks like it's a terrible idea.
And the Spore takes down medevacs there in the back. Yeah, really rough.
There's a thing about casting TY's games where he's been so perfect for so long that I'll see a move that really doesn't make sense, and I'll say, oh, here this could really maybe be amazing, and then it doesn't work like anybody else who did the attack.
He was kind of Ramboing there. Like, he was...
Yeah.
Look how far out the creep is, and look where he was. He was in the natural. How do you even get to the natural?
It's funny because, yeah, he would be also in the middle of all rally points on a map that's this big. What?
Double Nidus. Double Nidus.
Dude. This is the thing about DRG, man. He's so good at this matchup.
I love double Nidus play.
I don't know why we don't see more of it.
I think I've only seen...
It's only with Rogue.
Modern era. Does Rogue ever make 2 Niduses?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it, yeah.
Okay, so maybe Rogue a little bit, and I've seen Cyril do it like 1 time, I think. And like every time I've seen it, it looks really cool.
Well,
like,
it just makes sense.
Feel like
it's not expensive. And
yeah, at this point in the game, you can afford getting 2, and then you pop 2 out. It's like, well, you're going to get units out twice as quickly. It's, you know, it's twice as hard to clear this.
And the thing is, you don't even have to use them at all. I mean, look at this attack over here. There's a chance there's nothing that's going to come out of there. And look at this. This is what I was talking about earlier. The kind of fights that DRG wants to take are the ones where he completely flattens a position.
Like that?
Yeah, where he just wipes that spot out. And look, all the ghosts are over here. They're fighting off the Niduses. The Niduses were a red herring in the strategy from DRG. He just set those up. And TY, you know, when you see 2 Niduses in one spot, you really have to almost overcommit to stopping it, which makes it weak spot somewhere else on the map.
Seems like he did not even have to plan.
By the way, mechanically, this isn't hard to do. People just don't. I think more people should be doing this. They're just not.
A lot of lurkers out now.
Yeah.
He got the damage done. He's still maxed out. His creep spread is insanity. His upgrades are great. I mean, the difference between DRG's Zerg versus Terran and his other matchups is insane. Like, it's so much better. He needs Terrans to be the best in Korea. Like that. That's how DRG's path to another GSL victory is going through all the Terran players.
Okay, here's another attack coming in over here.
A massive burrow up here. A lot of ghosts for TY. Tries to throw down an EMP there.
Yeah, and this is another big attack here from DRG. It's kind of crazy to say. I think TY is on the path to a loss here.
Yeah.
Surprised those Banelings didn't connect a little bit better. Now 14 kills there. Nicely done. Good closing there with the attack. And this is a TY. He's actually on 5 bases. I do want to point out the bottom left has been taken. I actually didn't notice it until a second ago.
I didn't see that either.
But it does seem like DRG has gotten to where he's wanted to be in this game, and he's just dishing out attacks everywhere. And it's kind of like there's maybe too many fires to put out at once here for TY.
Yeah, DRG is really everywhere now. He's got the economy that he wants. 99 workers, which is kind of funny. But he's got his upgrades, that +3 melee even about to finish. And, I mean, he has, like, so many options here, right? He keeps throwing down the Niduses. He doesn't even have to do anything with them.
Yeah, this is some pretty impressive stuff.
It's like TY is not even going to be able to afford bullets soon if he keeps this up.
Yeah, big attack comes in here. And I mean, I think we're almost at GG here. I don't think TY can actually recover. I don't think anybody can recover from what DRG is doing right now. Again, you can't let the Zerg get this far out of control or there is no turning it around. And I mean, we're seeing more of the map taken. GG, DRG.
What a game from DRG.
Dude, it's night and day. His ZVP and his ZVT.
Couldn't get more different.
We should call this guy ZVT Man. Like, that's his superhero power.
That's his...
I am ZVT Man. But how does one stop ZVT? Well, that's only with PVZ Man.
Yeah, with PVZ Man.
Yeah. Not you, PVZ Man. My kryptonite.
Oh my God. It is so impressive, like what his Zerg vs. Terran looks like.
But the difference is so stark.
Yeah.
This is not normal, even at the very top. I mean, there's some pros that are like, oh man, they'll go, we don't know how to beat this race. But it's like, DRG is making TVZ look like we need to fix it immediately. But then he dies to Protoss attacks. Like, you know, he's never seen a War Prism push before. It's crazy. Romanticide for game 2, guys. TY may be the first player eliminated from the GSL Code S.
2021 GSL Season 1. Africa Freaks, TY. Team NV, DRG.
You know, if TY is knocked out here, I think there's going to be a lot of reflection on the build orders selected in the Bunny games and some of the decisions he made. And, you know, I want to just put this idea out here. He's been successful for so long that sometimes people begin to rest on their laurels.
Yeah, that does happen.
I mean, this group, I think anybody who follows any StarCraft at all would say TY is guaranteed to move out, and maybe he came in here sort of a little bit too relaxed. You know, GSL is kind of like climbing a mountain with no harness. You know, you just have to fall once and you're out. You know, it's
He's been on the top for so long now, right?
Yeah.
This is his third season in a row leading the group nomination, which means he's the #1 ranked GSL player 3 seasons in a row. That's some domination, right? And I mean, he's going to the military this year. We don't know exactly when.
Allegedly.
But yeah, I mean that definitely can happen. It doesn't feel. Well, I don't know. I don't want to over-project, but it doesn't feel the same as like when Classic was going to the military, and Classic was playing frantically, and you could tell Classic was like, I really need another championship, you know? And he like went out as the top Protoss in the world when he went to the military.
Right.
It was not. There was really not a question, especially after that BlizzCon, right, where he's like the only non-Zerg to even make it deep. And but with TY, like, does he have that same hunger? He's been a pro gamer longer than anybody.
Well, I mean, I also that's I think something to factor in certainly, and I also think just he might have come in here a little bit too relaxed, a little bit too, you know, it's another day in the office, so to speak, for a pro gamer. And I think that was shown a little bit in I think it's fine to take a risk in a best of 3, but I think when he did the double proxy again.
Oh no, Daces.
Oh, dude.
The proxy starport is going to get
You know what's funny
Daces.
is I hadn't actually even really looked at what is happening in this game yet, but
yeah, I don't like to start casting until 5 minutes in.
I wait until they're on their third base, and I'm like, so what are they doing?
I'm like, why does DRG not have any drones? Oh, man. That is...
So this is just enough time to...
Oh!
You know, I never liked it that the SCV kept building after it was killed and the bar wasn't done.
Yeah.
That is one thing. It's like at 99% you kill it. It's like, no. Like the last part of the building you had to put in like slid into place, and it's like now it works. But again,
that's
spotting
really
that
lucky
is crazy.
It's super lucky that finished, because if you have to cancel that and restart, That is just the most annoying thing. Here, at least you get something, right?
The SCV did stay a little bit in the center for like, looked like a second and a half or something.
Yeah. And that is one of the few RNGs that exist in StarCraft 2. There's
that's true.
This game has almost no RNG.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the only things that, yeah, I guess you're right now that I think about it. What else is there?
Yeah, StarCraft 2 has much less RNG because
StarCraft
we
1
only have
much
2
more.
player maps, and there's the high ground functions completely differently. But yeah, the SCV building is RNG. Protoss build orders are RNG, and that's about it, right?
Wait, what did you say?
Protoss build orders?
Protoss build orders completely RNG?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got a 20-sided Protoss build order die they roll.
They make the Void Ray.
Yeah.
You can't scout him. It's RNG,
There's
man.
no way to know what's happening.
You can't tell.
Overlord shot down. And, yeah, man, like, you know, this is a rough start here for TY. I don't think it's something he can't recover from, but, again, DRG has just looked like such a robust Zerg player against Terran.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I wonder if this could just be a 2-0.
You know, I'm actually sitting here, Tasteless, really racking my brain for different pieces of RNG. And there's one thing. Would you consider this RNG how Zealots charge in and connect? Because it's so complicated that no one can control it. And we've even seen it in interviews. And as someone who's played a lot of Protoss with charge lots, it definitely feels this way, where like sometimes you get really good connections with your charge lots and you win a battle, and sometimes you don't.
I don't know if that's
lose.
RNG though.
Yeah, it's not.
It does seem like you could simulate it over and over again. It's something that you don't have direct control of, but
well,
the truth is
it's
it actually
too complicated to ever control, right? So it's in a way, it's RNG. And like I remember an SOS interview where like he won against some Zerg, and he's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to go in and you hope your charge lots actually get the right
go where
targets.
they need to go.
Yeah.
I never actually liked the fact that charge lots operated like that. It was something I thought was actually better in StarCraft 1. Is I'm like, it's okay to be able to micro melee units too, not just ranged ones. We don't really have melee micro in StarCraft 2 in the same way.
Yeah, not as much.
Yeah.
Not as much. It's much more about ranged micro. For sure.
Yeah,
You're right about that. What about Hellbents, though, too? So they have
Yeah,
so
that's
much
so exciting. I love casting pro gamers not win with the builds when we see them. Ooh, that was pretty sick.
Yeah, I know. Pretty efficient there. Gonna have to back up. His medevacs are just too low.
Yeah, he's too low. There's not enough Marines either. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, you got as much as you really could there.
That's real value.
You got
TY
blood
got
out of
there.
a rock.
Now, behind us, there's a Spire coming down. It looks like we may see DRG go for a style that is, you know, kind of the trademark DRG Heart of the Swarm approach, which is masslings and Banes with mutas parked on layer tech for a little bit longer than we would expect.
Well, honestly, I think this is the strongest strategy against Terran.
Oh, I think it's just so good if you know how to do it correctly.
Yeah.
And it really, you don't let the Terran get into late game at all. You know, a lot of these games where there's like ghosts running around, like you don't really think about the game like that. You're focused on actually cutting this one short.
Well, you have so much counterattack potential, but you still have that growth potential as well, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't get up into some other techs. Like you could go into ultras and stuff and just continue to get your upgrades. All right, he's flying around with these 4 medevacs. I don't think that he's gonna find too much with these. All right, sets up. This does look like a good position. The creep spread is not really up there to the high ground. He's actually clearing some tumors, so that's going to get worse. And he is behind the gases, so it's like hard to actually get in there. But with 10 mutas coming, the amount of Ling Bane already on the map, I think DRG will clear this without it being too bad.
Yeah, this is definitely enough. You know, I think TY was trying to do some stuff that's, you know, it's worked against other Zerg players, but DRG's approach is like he's already going to have mutas coming out like we see here. He always has enough Lings because that's what you're getting to build up to defend from this. And now, look, the medevac's going to be picked off. This is starting to look bad for TY.
Yeah,
Started out looking kind of good, but again, I think the ideas at play, I mean, basically DRG is using a concept that has been, you know, kind of the bane, no pun intended there, of a lot of Terran's existences here. You know, it's one where the Terran can't be anywhere near as interactive. You know, medevacs are one of the best things the Terran have because they are so mobile. They do heal units. They fly. I mean, there's so many good things about them, and this combination of units kind of negates all of that. And so now DRG is free from any Terran oppression on the map. Now DRG can open up these areas, destroy the rocks, basically build circulation on the map.
And you know, TY floating down a command center for the 4th. Like, he still has a good economy. He has a very solid SCV count. His 2-2 a little bit behind DRG's, but it definitely feels like DRG has some control here. Like, look at that beautiful creep spread that he has. It's hard to imagine any more attacks getting him. Now jumping in on top of this 4th before the Planetary's ready. Baneling's connecting with a lot of these Marines. We'll pull back. More Lings being produced. Like, DRG's drone count up in the 80s. Again, ready for that hive tech as well.
Yeah, and he's probably done with drones now. I mean, this is enough to really have an engine that, even though right now we're seeing Terran push out, I'm more interested in seeing if TY can survive holding a 4th base. You know, a lot of times we're like, we want to watch and see if the Zerg player can survive the Terran's attack on his 4th base. Actually, now it's the opposite.
Yeah.
This is going to be where Zerg is going to have an army that's called the floor is lava.
The creep is definitely lava.
And he's going to have an air army called run away with your medevacs. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, you
for
think
TY.
medevacs are good against lava. They're not,
They're
actually.
not. Why would you think they're good against lava?
Yeah, just because they fly?
Yeah. So it's so significant he defends this. He does have a planetary there. We should note that. But one of the ideas at play here is Zerg's going to have so much gas pumped into his economy that the Banelings can just blow up the planetary.
Yeah, the problem with planetaries late game, like, there's the thing where if you don't have the planetary, they'll just run in with a very small amount of units and ruin your mining. And if you do have the planetary, you can't save it when they want to kill it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Both
that's
sound
true.
pretty bad.
Yeah, like you're seeing here, like, not that was ever going to get destroyed by the Banes, but you can pick this up if things got really hairy.
Yeah.
And when you have a planetary, maybe we'll see more orbital play. I don't know. I mean, if you could get really good at evacuating everything, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Thinking out loud
it's
here.
tough, though. Just small groups of Ling Bane would just ravage you.
No.
And you just don't have any defense that doesn't cost supply other than a planetary, and that's a problem, too.
By the way, guys, I mean, TY is still one of the greatest Terran pushers. Maybe he actually does push through this. I just want to say what I know from DRG's perspective and casting him for so long is that he really doesn't struggle with games like this.
No, this is his wheelhouse.
That being said, I don't feel like I have a lot of memories of DRG in the super late game, you know?
Well, people die oftentimes before, but he's getting into ultras, which is exactly what I want to see here. Has his 3-3 on the way, has Adrenal on the way, and you see, like, as soon as TY's walking anywhere, DRG comes in with really strong counters. Look at that. Look at the amount of mutas here.
Yeah, and this is what
Just
we're talking about.
pulverizing.
It just destroys everything. The mutas can pick off, specifically the medevacs is one of the things that makes this so damaging, because the Marines run away, and then suddenly the medevacs are actually pointed like away from the mutas, and the mutas just snipe them down. And if you lose enough medevacs, you really lose any sustainability in fights. Not that it matters versus Banes, but with everything else it does.
You know,
yeah.
You know how, like, lava that's underground is just called magma, right? And then it comes out of the volcano and it's lava. When it erupts, during the eruption and it's actually in the air, does it have a different name?
When it's in the air, the lava's in the air? I mean,
Yes,
it's sulfur,
like when it
what it
erupts.
puts out, but...
Huh?
Does it put sulfur in the air?
Well, it does put sulfur in there, but, like, is there another name for it, right? 'Cause it's
Air
magma
lava
underground.
is the technical term.
Okay, that's what the mutas are right now.
Yeah, air lava. The air
Oh my
is
God.
lava.
And the ground is also lava.
Yeah, everything is lava. We're in a universe of only lava.
Is it lava?
A lava-verse.
Oh my God.
What are they doing going through the lava-verse? Are they insane?
The lava-verse. It's like one of those superhero things, right? Where it's like the universe of, what is it, like the Marvel universe, the DC universe?
Yeah, the lava universe. Now,
it's lava versus Superman, and lava's gonna win.
Now, you know, he had one of his bases smashed again. TY you know, again, he's not dead. I'm just worried about the next coming attacks.
Yeah, DRG doesn't have like a big bank, and TY still has a very strong army.
He does, yeah.
But the thing is, I feel like DRG can trade at a slight deficit, you know?
Yeah, he needs to be careful not to overextend. Some of these attacks have been a bit questionable. He needs to maybe get some more ultras here.
I think what he just did there was really good. Run in, do what you can, like he forced a cancel on the CC, and then run out. Get back on your creep.
Ultras kind of have corgi butts. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, they do have corgi butts. You're like, oh wow, that butt's like a little bit smaller than I expected on something this size.
Yeah, but it's got a good shake to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Corgi butts.
Corgi butts. They're much cuter now.
Yeah.
Now, DRG's expanding now to the two bottom center bases, and just for emphasis, everything on the right is already taken. It's been being mined for a while, so I mean these bases are pushable, but they really need to be pushed and killed. It's not just they could be attacked; it's that they have to be. And it's funny the way the DRG's playing this. I think it's actually pretty brilliant. He's attacking a base I didn't expect him to hit. I thought he was going to be hitting the lower center base.
Oh, he's
but
getting ready for that.
He can hit this over and over and keep the army here, and then have a much quieter attack there now. And this killed everything, by the way. This may just end the game. Yeah. Meanwhile, another attack here, and he may Bane down. Yeah, he Banes down the planetary, which is like all you need to do. And I think it's a planetary south of this, right?
TY's dead, man. That's it.
That's it.
TY is out of the GSL Code S.
Okay, welcome to this bizarro world.
Group leader in the round of 16 for 3 seasons. He won't be next season, that's for sure.
You can't be a caster and try to play in GSL. Are you mad, TY?
I think he did all right, but not today, unfortunately. Losing to Bunny, losing to DRG. Now DRG gonna get to play Hurricane again. You gotta say Hurricane's favorite there. You must.
Yeah, I mean, if the other games mean anything, if records and scores mean anything, Artosis, sign me up for a Hurricane favorite here.
Yeah. That'd be a tough one. It's so strange to have TY.
This has been one of our.
When I saw the groups, I'm like, well, TY wins that easily.
Yeah, no, of course. This has been one of our more difficult casts, I think, just because everything that we know from the past doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Guys, tiny little break, and when we come back, Hurricane versus DRG for the second spot in the round of 8 of the GSL.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와. 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 방토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥. 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
성능을 언제 어디서나 가볍게 즐기다. 지포스 GTX 1650 그래픽 최신 인텔 10세대 프로세서 탑재. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어.
이상한데? 그렇게 작아. 너무 안 보이는데? 보이지가 않잖아. 이거 쓸 수가
아니
없는데?
저 키워보라고.
성능을 17대 화면으로 언제 어디서나 더 크게 즐기다. WQXGA 초고화질의 17대 화면, 16대 10 최적의 화면비. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
성능을 대용량 배터리로 언제 어디서나 더 오래 즐기다. 72Wh 대용량 배터리. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어. 듀얼 메모리, 듀얼 저장 장치. 고성능을 듀얼 업그레이드로 더 오랜 기간 즐기다.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
아이시스 에코. 오늘 내 룩에 찰떡.
마시고 분리수거 끝.
많은 분들이 아이시스 에코를 따르고 있습니다.
이것도 라벨이 없네?
무라벨은 따라해도 대환영. 팔로우디 에코. 아이시스 에코.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거 깨. 이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스감. 환도 역시 가스감이 대세.
Look where we are. We've made it far. The overgrowth is breaking.
of 16. TY, Bunny, Hurricane, DRG, GSL Season 1, Code S. Africa TV Freak Up Studio Live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6 2021 GSL Season 1.
Never give up, don't give up now. There's still hope in the dark.
We are back and ready to go into our final match. TY already eliminated. Now it's up to Hurricane and DRG to fight it out in a best of 3, and the winner moves on to the round of 8.
Dude, already the round of 16 is pretty wild with who's made it through and who hasn't, but the round of 8, if Hurricane goes up, it's like it's not going to look like any round of 8 we've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, this is...
and that's not a slight on Hurricane, it's just the landscape is changing.
Yeah, no, I think that's the big takeaway. It's actually very exciting. I mean, Hurricane already smashed DRG. I mean, if he does it again here, let's usher in the new era. Let's do it.
Well, I mean, he really did smash DRG. DRG did not look good against Hurricane in the first series. And DRG is one of my favorite players of all time, but like, honestly...
I have more questions than answers after their last best of 3 for sure.
He was bumbling through that ZVP.
Yeah, it was an odd one to watch. Game 1's going to be on Romanticide. Let's see if DRG can come back or if Hurricane does it again.
2021 GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes.
Hurricane. Team NV, DRG.
All right. Well, has to take it as third. Hurricane blocking that. Saw that earlier when they first played. Just double checking. All right. Now we wait a little bit, see what the opener for Hurricane is going to look like.
Yeah, let's see what goes down here. I'm a little worried for DRG. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be happy for Hurricane if he advances, but the difference between the ZVT and the ZVP from DRG today, it could not be more pronounced. And you know, both the games, they were very straightforward. You know, if you wanted to show a Protoss player, like, okay, what does it look like when you play a Zerg and win? Like, you played really, really well. It's like just pushes like that.
Yeah, but normally there's like units there that might be able to
fight
stop
you, and
like,
yeah, there's a back and forth.
Which didn't happen in game 1.
Well, honestly, it didn't really happen in game 2. There was an army that I think was intended to counterattack, and he just killed that, and then went and smashed the next base. Now, I mean, DRG, obviously, this guy is very smart. He's very adaptable. He's been, at times, the best StarCraft player.
Yes, absolutely,
so, I mean,
multiple times.
You know, he's going to be able to take these variables and try to, you know, engineer something that's going to, surely is going to be stronger and probably is going to be very different looking. You know, part of it does seem like in ZVT, he's able to pretty much drone up as much as he needs to, and then he's at the point where you can't stop him.
Yeah.
He's like too big to fail. But
well, he knows how to get his damage in ZVT, and he knows how to kind of defend enough to get to that point. Whereas here, okay, what were the big problems? Game 1 against Hurricane, he over-droned and just completely had no units when the push came.
Yeah, he had no respect for an incoming push.
Game 2, I think he opened up much better.
Yeah.
He deflected a lot of things, but then didn't have a follow-up. It didn't even look like anything. Right? He just got 2-2 and didn't go hive and like made a bunch of units and went across the map, but it was very late.
Right.
Right. It wasn't like you see some players that love to go across the map and attack. Solar will make a bunch of Roach Ravager and go and attack you, but it will be early enough that it can do something, right? So those are two very different games from DRG that he lost very, very badly. So I don't know. Maybe he was just a bit off. Maybe he's found his stride now, and he's gonna show us what his ZVP really can look like.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you know, you can come into some matches and be completely thrown off by new play styles. That's something that very strong tournament players have done, and it seems like Hurricane did it this time around. I mean, he did a very different PVZ to kind of set the tone, to prime DRG for what he had in store. And DRG got wrecked in the first game, like harder than any of the other players really have been wrecked in games, minus the one where Bunny just rolled over TY because he had more barracks.
Yeah.
But it did seem to throw DRG off, and DRG didn't seem to be as confident or as prepared for a much later game push. This game looks a lot like the game 2 we had with these two players, right? He's going back into the Void Rays. He's got an Oracle. I think he only has one, right? Or does he have two? One, right?
He has one Void Ray and one Oracle right now.
Right, okay. And then I guess he'll take a third, and there'll be some kind of setup for a push. Again, one thing about getting the Oracle and the Void Ray is you don't know if they're making more Void Rays behind this.
Yes, that's very true, and I think that's a big part of the builds that we're seeing out of Hurricane, because he alters his play a lot with these Void Ray openers. Now, it does lose out of depth, a little bit sloppy there, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. Third Nexus is going to be going up. And he's just kind of macroing off 4 gates and not really making any other Stargate units. So I'm really unsure of exactly what he's doing. It seems like he's just going to go across the map with like 8 Adepts or something. That's what it's feeling like right now.
Yeah.
I think he has 6 right now, or 8. Oh, he has a bit more than that. Never mind. So he has like, how many Adepts is that? 3, 4, 5, 6. He has 10 Adepts. Okay. But yeah, let's see what he can get done. There's Banes on the way, a lot of Lings.
Yeah.
Queen count not that high.
He's going to see the Banes are coming. Whoa, he's going to commit?
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Well, it's not like he has Glaives on the way, and he doesn't have a Prism up here, so maybe he feels like he needs to do it now to get value out of it.
I guess if you waver on Adepts. He does get away. That was pretty sick. The thing is, the Banes are faster than the Adepts. Can he target the Banes?
Well, that's good connections right there. Kills all of them. That did not do the damage he was looking for, so very strong defense.
Premium splash damage there from DRG. Is there counterplay? A lot of Lings are headed out on the map.
Yeah. Well, he does have that +1 melee, so you can really chunk through things. There's not that many units. Oh! Yeah, just barely unable to get around there. He's trying to like bait force fields and stuff there. Doesn't quite get it, but gets some Lings into that natural mineral line, and now actually gets some of the sentries, it looks like. Okay, this is good counterplay. Oh my god, is he really not going to get that one? No, he is going to get it. Okay. The overcharge, being crazy as overcharge sometimes does. About 40 Lings dying to that sentry.
Completely was shut down. I thought that was actually going to do more damage, to be honest, when I saw him heading out.
Yeah, I guess he got 2 sentries and like 5 probes on his Zealot with that.
It's not bad. It wasn't a total failure.
Yeah. I feel like he could have run a little bit sooner, but he thought the Lings were going to, you know, a full surround on a sentry with Lings. It feels like the sentry should die, but the overcharged battery, you know, fix that up. Baneling speed on the way here.
We're actually going to have a counterattack now. Is this a commitment? He's going to recall this, right?
Okay, I got to say that right now DRG's build looks very similar to Game 2 that he had against Hurricane before.
Yeah.
Which was the Stargate game as well. Hurricane moving out.
Where are the Banes?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He does have some, though.
Yeah, really good control by Hurricane with his Zealots.
Yeah,
he's basically waiting to commit with the attack. He's going to get a denial on this. I'm sorry, guys. I thought there were going to be a bunch of Banelings somewhere. And now I'm not seeing it.
He did make some Banelings. I'm trying to...
Oh, he's going to lose the Oracle. Nice catch.
Did we see him use the Banelings somewhere? Oh, wait, no, he did use the Banelings to kill the Adepts. Remember when they shaded to the 3rd?
Yeah, I just thought he would have had more when this
okay.
attack was coming out, so it's just sort of surprising.
But yeah, forcing the cancel's not bad there for Hurricane. I think that was a really nice counter pressure.
Okay, so another attack's coming in. And Protoss is taking his fourth. Zerg does not have a fourth. That was a pretty big attack in there to actually get the denial on the fourth base. It's only halfway done now. Protoss is slowly getting ahead. 2 Archons in here. Sometimes you can drop this to actually soak the Baneling shot like we're seeing right here. It's important for the Zerg to not actually let these Banelings hit like they just did there, because the Archons can get away, the shields can reach in, and Banelings are basically the best unit in the game if they connect to a targeted value.
Yeah.
If they're just shot down, then you're getting further and further behind. That's why one of the easiest ways, you see a TVZ, for instance, if they just shoot down all the Banes, then,
Zerg
nothing there. Yeah.
Now look at this spread of defense. He does have Psystorm. That is a lot of Zealots in there, so if the Banelings can connect on that, that's going to be pretty tough.
Okay, he does not want to Psystorm too many of these roaches. I know he kind of has to, but if you can get the Banes, it's much better. You kind of want to hold out. Storming the Banes is going to get you freedom here and allow you to keep your fourth. Very tricky attack happening here.
Yeah, it's not really working out all that well. That was a beautifully defended base, like a good spread of cannons, so they can't be banged down. He has the Psystorm, he has the overcharge on the battery, he has multiple Archons, a Prism. Really all the tools that he needed here. And this was kind of similar to what DRG was trying in that other game.
Yeah, this just is not working. Like, there's ideas here, but they seem very half-baked.
Yeah, and I think the problem is if you're going to do a full-on attack like that as DRG, you need to greatly reduce their tech in the Protoss army.
I agree.
Because that's like how you beat a Zerg, is by just building up your tech units, right? Like retaining Immortals, retaining Archons, retaining High Templars. And he didn't really kill very much there. He killed like Zealots, and that's not it.
Yeah, and now the push is going to come through. And again, if he can keep the Immortals alive and he can basically avoid losing the Warp Prism, Zerg's doing pretty well here. But again, as you were saying, Artosis, I mean, it's being illustrated perfectly here. If you keep the Archons and Immortals alive and then you just basically fill in the Tier 1 units, they're really your cannon fodder. That's it. GG. Hurricane just keeps winning in the same style.
It was a similar game to the second game that they played on Juggernaut in their first series, where DRG did an attack that honestly is not really going to do very much. He was like going towards 2-2 on melee, his Ling Bane, Roach Ravager, but not enough has happened to reduce the quality of army that his opponent has. And then when they have that fight, he doesn't really reduce it any further. It's like, yeah, some of the High Templars maybe like a little bit dies, but he keeps enough. You know, when you see Zergs win with attacks with that like mid-tier army, the games that they win are the ones where you actually get all the Immortals and you kill the Archons, right?
Or you shoot down the Warp Prism and then they get overwhelmed and they have to recall and you gain your momentum back, but
it's really about reducing those high-tech units.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got to shut that down. Let's see, man. I don't know. It looks like Hurricane might just win game 2 unless DRG can really shift gears into a different style.
2021 GSL Season 1. We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes. Hurricane. Team NV, DRG.
It's so weird to see this difference in ability in each matchup. It's so funny. I mean, just to really suffer in PvZ and get overpowered, but then in ZVT, you appear to be the best player in that matchup at the world on any given day. It's so funny to see the lopsidedness, because if DRG could get his ZVP even close to his ZVT, he could win this tournament.
Yeah. It's hard to win it off like one good matchup. That's a pretty rare thing.
No, I mean, it happens if it's like, oh, all the Zergs are winning, and then Maru is amazing at TVZ, and he can do it, you know? But yeah, it's strange to see a player that is this seasoned, that is this much of a veteran. And look, I mean, I think we're kind of in the second era of DRG, right? I mean, he really was the guy in Heart of the Swarm, and he's obviously been good off and on in between then, but he's looked so strong that I'm kind of, as a caster, trying to figure out where to put him, in these tournaments that we're doing. But as we've casted more and more games, I just look at this and think, well, he just needs to get better at the other matchups. ZVT is not an issue at all.
No, it's not.
I mean, you're beating TY of all people, and I think TY honestly was playing better in those games than the Bunny games. I think the Bunny games come down to, I think, not the correct build order decisions and maybe not really respecting the strength of Bunny.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe he's having some trouble with the way he's attacking Protoss, because that game, like, his early and mid game looked good, and then he does this attack that doesn't work out, and that is, we've seen that twice from him so far against Hurricane. And we could just chalk up maybe game one in the first series to being caught off guard, right? Because you just don't have units.
Yeah,
Obviously,
sure.
You have to have units to stop the push. So, maybe this is the issue. Like, he needs to have a good first fight, and we haven't seen that yet from him. Like a good first attack, rather.
Most of playing Zerg is surviving a series of attacks. That might sound silly, but it really actually isn't. Like, Zerg are not often pushing first in matchups. There are a lot of times, I mean, there are definitely special attacks they can do, but a lot of times it's like, okay, well, you know that this attack's going to be inbound. Get ready. Get as many drones out, but, get a finger on the pulse for what your opponent's doing. Try to figure that out, and then get ready to thwart it.
Looks like we're going to have a Glaives build coming out of Hurricane. We'll see which follow-up it's going to be. Will it be like DT? Will it be an additional base? Mortal push. A lot of possibilities here. First, we have to see if DRG can properly defend it. The 10 Adepts that came after me definitely defended well, but that was very different from what we're going to see here. Prism will be coming out relatively soon here. Oh, look at that. The Adept can see him.
Oh, I didn't know
cool.
about that on this map. That's funny. Well, that's actually pretty big, because it doesn't seem like DRG knew about that either. He hit it over there. And that's actually a supply block pretty early on in a pretty important build, and I think Glaives is making a lot more sense right now. This is one of those funny things where, you pretty much never expect to lose an Overlord that early, right? You wouldn't park it out there. You wouldn't even send it over there if you knew that could be an issue. And now with a hiccup in the production, suddenly, what looks to be more of an old-school Adept pressure is suddenly a lot stronger.
This is going to be a little bit scary. He doesn't really have the units yet. He is making 8 Roaches. And he finishes the Shade in. Big surround here by the Lings. Clean's dealing a lot of damage as well.
Okay, this is actually going to be handled much better than I thought. Can he get another warp in round here?
They're going to finish that Shade. 3 making it over to that 3rd.
He is warping in 4 more inside the main.
In the meantime, he does have the Sport Bait coming down and Immortal being made, so definitely another push is going to be inbound. But how much damage will actually be dealt? Only 3 drones killed so far, but a decent amount of Lings. Oh, he throws on a Forge as well. I guess he's gonna, like, Disruptor drops into a 3rd?
I guess so. By the way, that I thought it was going to do a lot more damage because he killed the Overlord. Didn't seem to be as big of a deal there for DRG. I mean, he pretty much slapped that down. There were drones killed, but not enough to really make a big difference here.
Coming forward. The 8 Adepts, I mean, you can fight those Roaches.
Yeah. DRG's control really good, even microing back that one Roach. Fakes the dive in, but generally speaking, in the current state of SC2, if the Adepts don't get it and start killing drones, this slowly loses steam, and we go into the next phase of the game, basically.
Now, Blink coming up, speed for the Prism for those Disruptor drops. I'll be interested to see if he goes Colossus with this as well. We saw some of that out of, I want to say, Zaun and Trap last year. It seemed pretty effective. Yeah, Speed Prism Disruptor drop's always very exciting. Let's see what he gets done. Yeah, there's the Colossus as well. So definitely a very strong 3-base timing attack will be coming as well.
Okay, what's exactly back at home here? I'm just seeing one Stalker. Some Adepts are coming in. They're not in the right spot to really be safe. It looks like he can force field this if he needs to, but DRG's being pretty smart. He realizes there's an opportunity here with these units in the middle. Here comes a Disruptor shot, takes out one. And beautifully done. Gets a force field. There's already some Links here on the inside. Nothing that can really fight this for now down here. He's going to have to pick up these Disruptors, try to keep them safe, but this may be the attack that DRG needed to take game 2.
God, there's just no units here, and he gets in on top of everything. Colossus pops out. He hasn't lost that many drones, so like maybe he can still end up holding it. Some excellent Disruptor hits. With the Spire coming up, DRG definitely in control right now.
This is pretty wild. I gotta say, Hurricane's microing his heart out, but I think it's too late. The Lings are gonna take out the Nexus. There's really nothing to keep the ramp protected. DRG is gonna win game 2 and bring us into game 3. GG.
All right.
Doesn't even go for the shot.
Very, very, very different game there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the Adepts were all kind of spent. He didn't have that many units at home. Tried to get out while doing massive amounts of tech and taking a third, and DRG with that counterattack just kind of breaking through a little bit too quickly.
Yeah.
Like, he had the tools to end up holding that.
Yeah.
But when all the Lings got inside, there was nothing left he could do. He had no units. You know, the 6 Adepts or whatever that were over at the third came over and just got surrounded immediately. Maybe he should have attempted to, like, shade into his wall. Because if those were standing behind the wall, he definitely lives.
That was definitely, out of all the moments and all the fights that we had, that was the moment where I think Protoss was screwed. Too many Adepts over there, one Stalker to plug the entrance. We're going to go to Oxide. This is the final game in Group A. Hurricane or DRG. Only one will move on to the round of 8. The other is out of Season 1 of the GSL Code S.
2021 GSL Season 1. Hurricane. Team NV, DRG.
All right, well, same old hatchery block, forcing that hatch to go down at the third, and now we wait a little bit, see if it's going to be another Stargate opener.
I'm still waiting to see, and if it is a Stargate opener, what kind is it going to be? You know, it's
he's been half and half today so far.
Do you think I was correct on my read that he wanted to do the Adepts because he saw the Overlord was there and thought he could kill it, and maybe with the hiccup didn't come? That's why.
I think he just probably had the build planned. That's kind of my gut. Like the Overlord, that was a cool little thing to spot that with the Adept there and get the kill. But yeah, I mean the build he did. If you recall last year. We saw Zaun do it a little bit. We saw Trap do it a little bit, and it was actually a very good build where you're like putting on pressure into Disruptors, which is like if you go Adept, they have to make like Roach, and generally they'll make Ravager when they make Roach, right? And then Disruptor kind of counters that, and then you add in some Colossus and hit a timing push with Blink Stalkers, and it kind of like it looked really good last year. I think it's a pretty solid way to play. Not like an every game thing, but a good thing to mix in. And that seems to be something that we're seeing a lot out of Hurricane, where he doesn't want to rely on one or two things. He has been using a gigantic range of PvZ strategies. He really has.
That's very true.
I feel like we've actually seen now, so far this season we've seen 9 PVZs out of him, and I want to say that we've seen like 7 or 8 different strats.
Yeah, there's been a couple he's pulled out twice. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like he's got a great handle on the matchup in general.
Definitely has a range.
You know, sometimes you get players that really do get a feel for the matchup, and it's kind of wild to see him doing this well against DRG. I'd be curious to see how other Zergs would look against Hurricane right now.
Yeah, we did see Ragnarok, but other than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the games versus Ragnarok were pretty good. I mean, he's here now, but I feel like we're watching, you know, each level of Dark Souls boss as far as Zerg players go against Hurricane, and like, how does he handle it? He's moving up and up.
I guess that would be the order, right? Ragnarok, then DRG, and like.
Yeah, who's
so on
next?
and
Is
so
Solar
forth.
or something like that? Yeah, and then
probably.
Solar, and then after that, Dark, and
then Rogue or something, or maybe
yeah.
Rogue then Dark.
Yeah.
That can be argued, I guess, at any moment. Okay, the first Void Ray pops out. Let's see if he goes Oracle. Yeah, he hasn't been very Void Ray heavy overall in his Protoss Zergs.
Well, we were kind of talking him up as, you know, going for lots of Void Ray approaches, but it does seem like the Protosses are all differing in how they're approaching this matchup out here.
Yeah.
Like one player's playstyle isn't necessarily reflective of the other. And, you know, builds like this, I mean, you know, we've seen this before, but it's not, this isn't really the important part, it's what comes next. There's a lot of different types of timings you can do. And again, you know, with the Void Ray out, you can see it's not a very terrifying unit for the Zerg, but it does get rid of Overlords and Lings, and it does generate ambiguity about what exactly is happening there. And that's where these timings that can come out and be so strong.
Lings run up and get rid of that Adept. It does force the Oracle back, so I think that was a nice move from DRG. A little bit of Overlord clearing still going on. Twilight is on the way. And there comes the Robo as well. It seems like, it feels like overall, this is the type of play that we've seen out of Hurricane that he likes. He likes the 3 base, let's get a big attack going type of build.
Okay, so he recalls that Oracle back.
No!
Oh! What? It like blows up. It blows up back in the Protoss home. It's that close.
Wow.
Probe is being transferred over here.
And, well, with Glaives on the way, they're going to have a little push. It's not going to be all that dedicated, though, I don't think. Right? It's going to be one of those, like, medium pushes.
Yeah, the Ling's not able to get in here right now. And again, let's see, you know, how this goes. With the Queens coming, this indicates it's an all-in.
Well, with a bunch of Glaive Adepts, if he gets back into position...
Yeah, this is funny, because I feel like this is not...
Oh, he doesn't see it, just barely.
Oh, this is so funny.
Well, Solar... I mean, DRG, rather. He is actually turning around against this.
Oh, my God, that's so much time the Queens are off of creep.
Yes.
I mean, he's got a lot of Lings, he's got a lot of Ravagers, but this... Oh, he's turning around again.
Yeah, worst case scenario, he's turning around twice.
DRG might actually make this work. This could still... It just, you know, it's a little bit painful to watch because it's time lost either way, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he realized there was no prism with this, so it's not as deadly as what he thought it might be.
Right.
So now he's turning back around.
These Lings are going to kill off a decent number of these Adepts before they can actually pull away.
The push is going to get the 3rd minimum.
Yeah.
He does not have enough up there, and like he's using all of his Adepts here.
Yeah, and the Void Ray is irrelevant when there's Queens here. I think actually DRG could snowball this. 4 Adepts is...
Dude, this is actually... Like, what a game changer this is if DRG comes back. Like, Hurricane will, if he wins here, Hurricane still has a winning record on DRG tonight, but won't advance.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's most likely that DRG plays Maru in the round of 8, which is going to be insane.
Yeah, this is wild. Well, it looks like he did manage to squeak by here with a win. I mean, Protoss maybe comes back, but this is an extreme amount of damage.
Yeah, and like he loses his 3rd, but he gets a few drones during this, and he is making a really scary army. He's gonna have Blink +1, good amount of Immortals. Hurricane still has a shot here, but I think he has to go. Like you can't just sit back. I don't think taking a third is the play.
Yeah, it looks like these queens can probably get away. Maybe not, actually. I guess there's not much back here.
If he can hit his toe on a creep, but it...
Yeah, watching queens retreat off creep is pretty painful.
Those are so high energy, too.
Yeah, there was a lot of value lost there. Not as much as a third base, of course, but I think the follow-up attack is going to be the most important part now because the third base has been denied. Protoss is limping back into their play here, but you know, Zerg didn't suffer that much in the Protoss's attack.
Yeah, he lost some drones and all.
When you lean into a depth pressure, you are slower on everything else.
That's true. I gotta say, like, it still feels very DRG favored. Like, that was a good pick from Hurricane, and I actually like the risk that Hurricane is running here, where he's going double robo. So he's just going to pump out, like, a really ground-pounding army.
Yeah.
But a Spire just finished for DRG. And Spire is, like, against double robo, that's, like, can you hope for better?
I mean, that's probably the tech you need. It looks like it was spotted, by the way.
Yeah.
Some Stalkers and Phoenix is coming. Almost forgot Phoenix was going to be made in this game.
Yeah.
Just because it was so much more about everything else. So let's see, you know, a push coming back up through the center. And what does this look like?
Yeah, maybe Hurricane can pull something together here, because he is going to make a pretty crazy army. We don't see mutas yet. DRG is not droning, he's making units. The Disruptor ad going to be fantastic against this account of Ravagers. A lot of roaches being added in.
And this is a much stronger DRG. The ebb and flow of the early game allows DRG to be into a very healthy position in the late game. And although Protoss can attack out and, you know, be a threat, I don't think that there's anything Zerg really has to worry about.
Blinking back here, moving forward with his army, still a little bit too small, Hurricane, but has the tools to be able to retreat in the meantime, dropping off a couple of depths. It is a big DRG army coming for him. He's up twice the army supply. Oh, an okay Disruptor hit, but he's going to need a couple more like that.
There's some pretty juicy potential Disruptor shots, but I'm worried that Zerg can just muscle through this.
Maybe. There are 3 Immortals, which is pretty good, and I mean, as more Disruptors come out and as he gets Disruptor hits, like, Disruptors are going to be so valuable here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of free room on the ground
here.
here.
Look at this. Ooh. That was actually a good split by DRG, but...
Well, DRG's opening this up now, which gives him a better angle. He's chewed his way through the gateways. Now the Lings come, and the Immortals in the front can't be covered for much longer. We're about to have the third Immortal get killed. No, it lives for a little bit longer.
And a blink forward because it's just Ravagers left over, so that is definitely something you can fight.
Look at the supplies now, completely even.
Yeah.
How funny.
126 army supply to 68 at the beginning of that.
It seems like DRG was trying to force the issue and it just didn't work.
Well, he picked off like some of the Immortals. Was that good? Well, he's making mutas now. And like, I guess there's like 8 Phoenix. Yeah, there's 1 Phoenix, 1 Void Ray, and then Blink Stalkers. Mutas are going to be strong here, at least for a bit. Throws down some good battles, but insane Disruptor, insane.
Yeah, Muta's coming into the main now. Now, even though Protoss survives, the Mutas now are going to be another big factor here. Doesn't look like they do that much damage either, though.
No, they definitely did not. He recalled very, very quickly, so we are going to have another counterattack on the 4th.
Yeah, denying the 4th is big. That's a big deal for sure. Oh my god, this is a great catch on the War Prism. Can he actually kill it off? No. Goes for the Phoenix instead.
Not quite. Still making mutas. It'll be interesting to see if he continues to produce mutas. Okay. So this type of game almost always goes into a base trade. There's so much creep spread, though, that I could see maybe DRG can fight toe-to-toe, but we should see Archons starting to get added, which like really makes it so the mutas have a harder time engaging the army. So it's like, basically as Protoss, if you're not on mass Phoenix, you're trying to make a death ball that the mutas can't touch, which means that it kind of forces Zerg to counterattack.
Right. He pushes out here. More Mutalisks than there are Stalkers.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we're standing and fighting here.
Yeah, Phoenixes are going to come out, but you need to get enough. Yeah, there we go. The rest of the Stalkers come up. I think he was afraid of a counterattack, but he blinks out now. The Mutas can counterattack in later if he wants. Oh. He's going to go for Corruptors. How funny is this?
Yeah, and that's actually a good call because there's a second Stargate and Fleet Beacon. So it's actually going to be ranged Phoenixes as the counter instead of going into Stalkers, which is like a longer term investment for Hurricane. But the Corruptors can kind of like be right-clicked on them, and you can chase them down to the wall, or like you can dance the Phoenixes forever against the Corruptors, but then the Mutas get a lot of damage done.
Yeah, even if the Phoenixes get away, then the Mutas kill everything. Because the Muta number is high enough. I don't know that the Stalkers can catch up, so to speak.
You know, if Hurricane can hold on a little bit longer here and like actually secure another base.
Oh, I don't know that he can though.
Yeah, that is the tough part, but we don't have like a lot of great things going on for DRG other than he has more. Right? Like he has more of the map, his creep spread's really good, he is very mobile. But if we could actually have Hurricane getting more bases, then suddenly his composition is going to get very cost efficient. It's just he doesn't have much economy.
Okay, not bad here by Hurricane. He chases him away a little bit. Again, though, DRG gobbles up the map as this game goes on here. I mean, it's one thing to see Protoss survive and build up. The question is, when is the counter punch coming?
Well, the Corruptor count is starting to really grow here as well. But this is a lot of eggs in this Muta Corruptor basket.
Yeah. Now he's on the other side here. I mean, these Mutas are kind of stuck over here. The Corruptors are chasing him down, and he can actually take out a lot of the infrastructure here. Maybe unpower the Robo. I guess there's too many pylons, actually. The big attack is coming, though, on this side.
Yeah, just turning into a little bit of a base trade. The Mutas and Corruptors trying to fight over here. The Phoenixes are being so cost efficient, though.
Does Hurricane actually win this?
It's possible.
Seems
Like his ground army is not something that gets stopped easily.
Well, this ground army is going to wipe out everything down here faster than these Mutas and Corruptors dancing back and forth versus Phoenixes can, if I'm not mistaken. I guess there's less bases overall, though, for Hurricane, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know where this goes exactly. This is truly a base trade.
Oh, my God. Well, I mean, there's some heavy multitasking going on right now. Now, I believe we see a hatchery going up in the top left, so DRG really getting ready for that type of base trade scenario. And the Phoenix count is getting a little bit lower. Never did finish that +1, which is kind of nice for DRG. Oh, I guess that was actually just a bunch of units in the top left.
If he can take this fight over here, I mean, there's no probes anywhere else. Protoss is actually pushed, though, into the main. Or Tosis, who wins this? I think Protoss.
Yeah. I think Hurricane's going to take it. Because, like, we just don't have... It's still also 20 Mutas, which is pretty scary, but there's 3 Archons with 13 Stalkers in the main army.
Yeah, the Mutas can't actually kill the army. That's even more important than killing the Phoenixes, is there's just...
Like, I feel like he should focus Nexuses and then try to figure out how to kill everything else.
Yeah. You know, Zerg does have enough minerals here that I guess he really doesn't, actually. I was going to say he can try to hide extractors, but
no, it's pretty rough. I think Hurricane's going to be able to take it because now we have almost nothing going on, and the Phoenixes can be super microed.
And where are the probes? Just in the main? I don't think there's any hidden on the map here.
There's 5 total, and there's 1 drone on the map. So, yeah, not a whole lot.
Okay, so where are the rest of the buildings? It's just 6 o'clock, right? There's nothing I see. Yeah, that's it. And there's actually no drones, by the way. So DRG is boned.
That's
a technical term to do it.
Yeah, that's it. He's giving up. GG.
And Hurricane
did it.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Crazy.
Yeah,
all right.
That was a wild game.
Complete opposite of what I would have guessed.
Very, very cool because it felt like DRG did have that. And then Hurricane just barely held on, and there was a lot of interesting choices back and forth. Like he went double robo and then saw the Spire and started to prep for it, and then nothing came from the Spire. So like he couldn't get his fourth, and then the Spire actually started producing. He had to go into Phoenix, and DRG, you can see, just kind of crushed here. This is...
Well, this hurts, man. And I mean,
he definitely could have won that.
He had a lot of ideas at play, but he's going to have to modernize his ZVP. Look, his old style still works extremely well in ZVT, but in this matchup, he needs to update. He needs to upgrade. And ideally, he needs to innovate, because right now, modern Protoss is what Hurricane is. And he's won 2-1. He's the second player to move on to the round of 8 in the GSL Code S, the second survivor of Group A. We're going to have an interview now and see how Hurricane's feeling. Kind of crazy. Him and Bunny are the two to advance in a group they shared with TY and DRG.
I know, it's crazy.
Well, in the final match of the best of 3 between Hurricane and DRG, it is Hurricane who wins, and he moves on to round of 8. Congratulations. This is your round of 8 after 5 seasons. How do you feel, Hurricane? I actually had no expectations coming here, but now that I advance, you know, everything feels so surreal right now. But you played so great today, Hurricane. Well, my mindset was to play as comfortably as possible. And I think I was able to make good decisions today overall. Hurricane, you're not only good at making stasis fields and psionic storms, you showed great micro with the Phoenix as well. In the last set, you know, that was the set that mattered the most. So I was really nervous in that set. And I kept reminding myself not to make any mistakes, and I tried to play as slowly as possible. And I think that's how I won today. So in the second game, you did lose to DRG's reverse sweep. So what happened in the game? Well, then in game, you know, I lost the enemy's movement, and if I just kept focusing on his movement, I could have won that game, but I couldn't win because I lost his movement. So you beat TY and then you beat DRG, and your PVZ looks awesome right now. You know, I kept practicing the PVT, but I still couldn't grasp the feeling of it. And as for the PVZ, I had prepared some builds I could use. And you know, everything fit in correctly today, my strategies. So, you know, your PVT still, you know, needs some work to do. So now you'll be playing against the first seed of Group B. And in Group B, there are 3 Terrans and 1 Zerg. So who are you rooting for as the first player that comes out of that group? Well, the 4 players, you know, I haven't beaten them much in the past. So my mindset is I don't care whoever I play against. But Hurricane, it seems like you rooting for Solar seems the best scenario. Is that right? Well, Solar these days, I heard rumors that his ZVT is really good these days. So I think Solar might have a chance at making the first place in the Group B. So Hurricane, as I said before, this is your round of 8 after 5 seasons in 2019 Season 2. How do you feel? I'm always grateful to my fans for cheering for me, and I'll try to make good preparation for the round of 8. Once again, congratulations, Hurricane. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for day 1 of the GSL Code S. It was fun doing Code A, but I'm glad we're back in the official GSL greatest tournament for StarCraft in the world. We missed you guys. Thanks for waiting. I like our long-form tournaments out here. and the stories we get to build behind them. But
what a day.
What a story today. One I wouldn't have believed if you told me it was going to happen before I saw the games. Bunny beats TY. Hurricane beats DRG twice.
Yeah.
And then even Bunny versus Hurricane, I thought Hurricane would probably take that. So what do we know?
I know.
Apparently nothing.
Well, let's see what's going to happen in Group B. Maru, Solar, Cure, Dream.
Yeah. 3 Terrans and a Zerg. This is going to be a fun one. Let me go out on a limb and say I think Maru advances out of this, but
well, that's what you said about TY. Yeah, I can't really trust you
I had to turn in my caster badge after that. My caster license got revoked, being foolish enough to think that TY of all people would get out of a round of 16 group. How embarrassing!
No, I think he actually has the records on advancement to round of 8. I'm actually fairly certain that TY holds that record. Like he has been in round of 8 almost every season. Like
this is actually the easiest part of our jobs is in a round of 16, confidently saying TY advances. Yeah. Is it a fluke? Are times changing? I don't know. But Bunny getting this far now is incredible. Hurricane keeping a grip on PVZ and actually advancing to the round of 8 is exciting as well. And it shows DRG, I mentioned this earlier, but I do want to repeat it, like his TVZ or his ZVT style, it still works today. I mean, obviously it's in Legacy of the Void, but the same ideas are applicable now, obviously, as he knocked TY out of the group. But he has not modernized his play. He's not playing like a lot of the Zergs that play now.
His CVP is a little bit off still. He needs to work on that.
It seems very stale.
Yeah.
It's just...
I'm sure that he's going to go home and fix that up. Like, I mean, Hurricane has shown very good PVZs overall, so you gotta give him some credit there.
And you also got to imagine that in this group, he probably thinks TY is the biggest threat, and he can maybe beat these other guys. So maybe just focus even more on TVZ.
Totally. Yeah.
Anyways, guys, that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you. We're going to be back Thursday, 6:30 p.m. KST. That's the new date. No Saturday casts. We love you guys. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
It's hard to believe that we made it this far. We were born in a dream, we've been lost out at sea, but together we are unbreakable. I called you up in the early morning light, 'cause something didn't sit right. I didn't want to lie about it, but